Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to a special edition of Sports4CLE. We are at the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton for Mid-American Conference Football Media Days. And we begin Sports4CLE with Kenny Burns, head football coach of the Kent State Golden Flashes from down the road in Portage County. Kenny, nobody plans on going 1-11 in their first season as a head coach. What did you take away from that? What can you build on, though?
Yeah, you know, I always tell our team is that every experience you have, you can learn something. And I think that's what we did as a football team last year. We learned a lot about who we are. We knew we were young. We knew we were unexperienced. We had 11 new starters on offense. It's reality. And I think what we did as a staff is we played a lot of young guys. And we let them kind of touch the stove and get burned a little bit and kind of learn from it. And hopefully you see a bigger and better team this year. One thing, you know, after the season ended, we as a staff looked at everything and we kind of dove into it. And we said there's three areas that we really need to address. And first it was alignment, making sure all our players are aligned with us in the vision of Kent Grit. And then the second thing was we had to transform our bodies. We didn't look like a competitive MAC team, and we had to get there. So we hired a new strength coach, who's Charles Friday, who's come and did a great job. And then the last thing was development mentally and emotionally. We didn't handle adversity very well. We were a young team. We were emotional at times. We didn't play with emotion. And so we did some creative things this offseason to address it, and hopefully you see that this fall.
You mentioned a young team this year. You returned 9 starters on offense, 6 on defense.
Yeah.
How big of an advantage? You're smiling already. How big of an advantage is that?
It's definitely an advantage. It's an advantage. The one thing I'll say, it's the freshmen turned into sophomores, and the redshirt freshmen turned into sophomores. So we're still very young on offense. I think if you look at our offensive roster, we're only graduating 1 guy. So they're coming back still the year after that. So it's going to be a better team, a more united team for sure. Does it give you more wins? No, but it gives you a chance.
Yeah, and you know the old joke about freshmen. What's the best thing about freshmen? They become sophomores. Yeah. This team, what's the message to them then this year?
Yeah, so you know the season ended and we got together as a football team, and I told everyone, I said, you've been through this a year now. I will help you if you want to transfer. I will let you go, but if we come back, we got to be all in. Everybody's got to be all in to what we're doing here, not looking or second guessing what we're doing, but find a way to contribute to our football team in a positive way and maximize your potential under the Kent Grit umbrella. And the guys have taken it and ran with it. We had one of our best winter conditionings that I've been around as a football coach. I thought spring ball we got better, and then this summer these guys are cranking it. And right now we're a connected football team, and I think a connected football team is a dangerous football team.
So when you're playing the way Kent football wants to under Kenny Burns, what are we seeing on the field? What type of team do you want Kent State to be moving forward?
A tough, physical team that plays together. It's about that simple. You know, schemes are schemes. That you're going to do what you do to give yourself an advantage. But when people watch us, I want to say, wow, they play together, they play tough, and they play physical. And that's what we're working towards.
When you look at some of the strengths this year, what do you think can be a strength of this group in 2024?
Yeah, but they're both here with me. Krishan McCray, obviously first-team all-conference receiver. He got hurt last year. I think he led the league in reception yards. A young talent. I think he's only going to be a sophomore. He's got a ton of ability. We're going to go as he goes, and he knows that. I put a ton of pressure on him this season, and he's going to have to perform. I think it's easy to get to the top, but when you're at the top and now people are trying to stop you, how do you handle that? And I think he's done a great job with that. And then our defensive line, who Oliver Billett's here with us, I think that's the strength of our defense. We returning 3 starters there, a ton of experience. Their depth, they're what I call NFL bodies. They've got the frame to be big bodies that can get to the next level. We're going to rely on them as well.
Flip side of that, so if I can tell you, you can smooth this out and this is going to be what you hoped it would be, what area of that would be? So an area of concern that if you get it right, you could be rolling.
Well, quarterback. If you got a good quarterback, you got a chance, right? So we've got 2 guys that I think had a really good offseason. It's a really competitive battle right now between Tommy and Devin Kirkman. Those guys have both had really good summers. Fall camp, we're going to throw it out there and see who runs with it.
What can this offense be?
You know what? I think this offense can be better. It can be better. I think, we've got Kai Thomas at running back, a transfer from Kansas, who I had at Minnesota, was a Big Ten freshman, I think, of the year back then. But and then we got Krishan on the outside. We got all 5 linemen back. So if these guys keep getting better daily, I think we'll put it together at one point, and then we'll kind of explode as an offense.
All right, before I let you go, non-conference games. At Pitt, you play St. Francis, at Tennessee, at Penn State.
Yeah.
How much are you going to find out about your young team
Very
early.
very quick. You know, everybody says it's the toughest schedule out there. I say it's the most opportunistic schedule because for the first time in college football, there is a clear path for a Group of 5 team to compete for a national championship. That's never happened before. And I'm telling my team, if we for somehow, some way, I know the world doesn't think we can do it, but if we find a way to win a couple of non-conference games, guys, and then you're going to set yourself up to compete for a MAC championship, and then who knows what's going to happen. So we're looking at the football team as an opportunistic schedule that can give us a chance to play for something bigger and better.
Kenny Burns, head coach, Kent State Golden Flashes. Appreciate it.
Thanks
very much.
Thank you.
We're going to take a quick time out. On the side of the break, we'll hear from a couple of the Golden Flash players. It's a special edition of Sports for CLE from the Mid-American Conference Media Days, Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton.
I think you can do so much from traveling the world. So many people just stay in the box that we live in.
The study abroad program at Kent State made it clear what path I should be taking.
Experiencing the different classes to experiencing the art and the buildings and the culture. I'm just hoping to take back everything I've learned and be able to apply it into whatever I do in the future.
Kent State has basically helped to set up the vision for the career that I want to be able to go through.
We continue the special edition of Sports for CLE. Some Golden Flashes players joining us: Krishan McCray, wide receiver, and Oliver Billett, who is a defensive lineman. Guys, we talked to Coach Burns last year. What did you take away from it? Nobody wants to go one in whatever. What did you learn that you can utilize this year? We'll start with you.
Basically, we just learned how to, fight through adversity when things don't go our way in games. Also, to just grow from the next play and to keep going forward and stay together.
Oliver?
Leading off what Krishan said with the adversity, and then on top of that, I feel like it was a motivational thing. So now we had a lot of motivation coming into this offseason, putting in our work, putting our heads down, and just getting after it.
A lot of guys coming back from that team,
Yeah.
a lot of starters in particular. What does that do just as a player? What does that mean to you?
For me, I feel like it's building connection within our team. I know my class personally with Krishan and a lot of other guys, we've been super close throughout this, and now I feel like we're kind of taking over the reins being older guys. So I feel like it's exciting to see our friendships build and be able to put that out on the field with our connection.
Krishan, 9 starters back on offense. What kind of offense can this be?
It can be a really good one, I'll tell you that. The more we build our connections, the more we play together and get to know each other more, it's just going to be a great offense.
We talked to Kenny Burns, and Coach said, we're going to go as Krishan goes. What does that do for you? I mean, head coach has that much confidence. Sounds like he has some plans to get the ball in your hands, and I see the smile on your face.
Yeah. It definitely gives me a boost of motivation to knowing that people are counting on me to go out and do what I do.
Oliver, the other thing that he said is our defensive line is a strength defensively. What type of responsibility do you feel as a D lineman?
It's time to go make plays when we go out in the field. We got a good group of guys, really close group of guys. I know me and my best friend, I live with him now, is Stephen Daly. He's another big part of our defensive line. So I feel like we're excited to get after it this season.
What's kind of the mindset of the team? Is there like a message that you guys have to each other? And this is for both of you.
So our message this year has been like all in. So we're pushing all our chips into the table, trying to take every advantage we possibly can, every little detail, fine tune it so we can leave literally everything we have on the field.
Krishan, what do you say to teams that might be taking Kent State lightly? And do you get motivated by that?
We work the same. We don't really listen to the outside noise, so we're just going to let our play show.
How much confidence do you guys have? Last question I'll ask both of you. Confidence that's in what's happening and the way you're building things.
The confidence is in our work. I believe we've put in work, and I would like to say that we're working harder or just as hard as any other program in the country, and I really feel like that's going to show out on the field.
I agree with that.
Tell me a little bit about, Coach mentioned the off season. What was that like? How much did you put in the weight room and getting bigger, faster, stronger?
Yeah, this was probably the toughest off season we've ever had. Definitely went to show what that work was in the off season and the season coming up with our play. So.
I lied. I got one more question. You play Penn State. You play Tennessee. You play Pitt. How do you guys approach those games?
Same as every game. You know, we have the mindset that we can go in and win and compete with the highest level. So,
Opportunity, maybe?
Absolutely. I mean, it's a time to showcase yourself in front of millions and millions of people in the world. So why not give your best stuff?
Krishan McCray, Oliver Bott, great stuff. Best of luck to the Flashes in 2024. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Sports for CLE will take a quick time out. We will have more on this special edition from Mac Media Day at Pro Football Hall of Fame. Stay with us. We continue with a special edition of Sports for CLE from the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Mac Media Days. Pleased to be joined by the head football coach of Bowling Green State University Falcons, Scott Loeffler. Coach, a season ago, 7-6, 5-3 in the Mac. Take us through what you learned and what you can build on from that season.
Yeah, I thought the second half of the year we really made strides in the right direction. I thought for the last 4 to 5 years, well, the first 2 years was a complete rebuild. Year 3 started to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And then years 4 and 5 was really learning elite habits. And I really honestly believe the last half of the season we started doing things right day in and day out in our building on a consistent basis. And the mantra and our motto right now is everything matters. And I think we've had an outstanding winter conditioning, great summer. And we need to go have a great training camp and win the war within. You know, in college football right now, it's about loving each other. It's about being selfless and understanding in the grand scheme of things, if you win, there's enough for everyone.
You mentioned the building process. In your 6th season at Bowling Green, when you look at this team, what do you expect the strengths of it to be?
Our seniors. We've got 30 seniors, and traditionally when you're old in this league, you've got a chance to win the championship. We've got guys that have played for 4 years now. Our best players are the guys that we recruited out of high school, and I think we've done a great job of taking those guys, meshing them with the transfers, and right now I think our guys get it. So what we got to do is have a great training camp, stay healthy, and just like I said, win the war within.
30 seniors in today's era of the transfer portal, that's got to be something you're happy and pleased and proud of.
Yeah, we had 15 guys that could have transferred and went and played at bigger schools, and I'm sure got more money than I make. But that's the world of college football right now. But these guys wanted to graduate. They understand that we've got an opportunity, if we stay together, to make a run at the Mid-American Conference Championship. And I'm super excited to watch these guys day in and day out do things the right way and give themselves a chance to make a run at the championship.
So the strengths. Now, if I could tell you, this is going to come together and it's going to get rolling, and what would that area be that you have a little bit of, maybe, I don't want to say doubt, question, something that needs to come together for you to get this where you want it to go?
I really look at our roster right now, and there's not a position group that doesn't have experience. Just like I said, it's battling the internal war. We need to make sure that we understand it's all about the team. Let's not become selfish. And just like I said, we're old in every position, and when you're old at every position, you got a chance. So I don't really see it a weakness at any position group right now.
You're known as the guy that develops quarterbacks, Connor Bazelak. What did you see from him end of last year that you liked, and what do you see from him going forward that you like even more?
Well, playing the quarterback position is hard, and if you watch Connor whenever he was at Missouri, he was Player of the Year in the SEC, had an unbelievable, great start. And then he went to Indiana, and then unfortunately there was a lot of things out of his control. And when you're getting hit every play, and when you're expected to throw the ball every play and you don't have people around you, that's hard. And he got into some habits that we needed to break, and about halfway through the year, he began to trust the protection. He began super disciplined. Would go from 1 to 2 to 3, take his first, or take the correct drop with a great body position, and he would find his first open receiver. And that's all he's got to do. He doesn't have to do anything more than take the right drop with the right body position, go from 1 to 2 to 3, and hit his first open receiver. But he's super talented, and he's a great guy. And you know, being around the team for another year, being able to, he's a quiet guy, but as soon as you get to know him, you know, you really fall in love with this dude. So I'm super excited to watch him lead our team.
Non-conference, you are at Penn State and Texas A&M. How do you approach those games, and what do you get out of them?
Yeah, you approach every single game the same way, you know, and I understand. I think Penn State will be top 3 team in the Big Ten. There's no question about it. I know Texas A&M. I know those coaches that were on that staff previously. They've recruited well. Elko, I've been against Elko, I think 100 different places, different times. I think we played each other 4 different times, 4 different schools. So he is a excellent coach, and I think he'll make them more disciplined, and I think they're going to be a good football team too.
So you mentioned camp. What's the message to this team moving forward and getting ready for the season?
Every single day matters. Every single thing that we do, from how we approach the training room, how we approach the weight room. It's easy in training camp when it's the first 3 days, everyone's excited, and but you find out all about your football team right around day 9, day 10, day 11, when it's monotonous, it's hot as hell, you're tired, you're beat up. But those great teams that I've been around, they're able to put all those distractions on the side and still be able to perform day in and day out when they don't feel necessarily the best.
Scott Loeffler, head coach of the Bowling Green State University Falcons.
Awesome.
Appreciate the time.
Thank you so much.
Thanks
Appreciate
very much.
it.
We'll take a quick time out. We'll hear some of the Falcons players coming up. Special edition from Sports4CLE from the MAC Media Day football preview is straight ahead. Canton Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio.
At Bowling Green State University, we are a public university for the public good. A nationally ranked research university, we create public good through our graduates who lead and our collective pursuit of impact in Ohio and beyond. Founded in the Midwest, we never shy away from hard work. We embrace our responsibility to do good. We are proud to have state in our name. It's who we are, always striving forward. Always a public university, always for the public good.
Special edition of Sports4CLE from Mid-American Conference Football Media Days. Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton continues, talking to Bowling Green Falcons players Connor Bazelak, quarterback, as well as Jordan Oladokin, cornerback. Connor, take us through what you learned last year. And Coach kind of alluded to it, but how much more comfortable did you feel? What did you figure out last season?
Yeah, I think early on in the year, I think I was just thinking too much, not trusting the offense, trusting the protections. I had a couple good games in there, but wasn't consistent enough. And then I think later in the year, action, bowl game, I feel like I went through my reads and just found the open guy and trusted the offense. I wasn't thinking, and that's credit to my teammates too, and just helping me.
Jordan, 4 interceptions, 30 tackles, 21 solo tackles. So as a cornerback, that tells me you're a willing defender in the run game. How much pride do you take in that part of your game?
Oh, well, the year before, I heard a lot from just people that I couldn't tackle as well. So coaching staff, especially our defensive staff, really helped me gain confidence in wanting to tackle this year and being that force on defense.
So for both of you guys, this year, kind of the mindset, the approach, and how you're attacking as you get ready for camp. We'll start with you, Jordan.
Well, on the defensive side, we're just trying to get the new guys, the transfers ready, and we're really coming along well during workouts and during the summer so far. So every day we talk about gratitude, selflessness, and just grit. So we're trying to create that grit on defense.
Con?
Yeah, I think for the team, it's right now our mindset is there's no time to waste. I think we know and we think that this is our chance this year, and we can't wait around for that opportunity to come to us. We got to go out there and work and go grab it.
Coach mentioned a lot of seniors, a lot of experience. How important is that?
I think it's really important just for the leadership aspect. We have a ton of guys that have played meaningful football and big conferences. Some guys have played at Bowling Green for five years. So we have a lot of different experiences, and I think when we combine all of those, it meshes really well.
Jordan, senior leadership, how important is that?
That's very important. We have guys that, like he said, that played, that might be in our two deep. So just having that leadership from a guy that may start or a guy that's coming off the bench that's still going to play meaningful snaps is very important to us this year. So that senior leadership, having 30 coming back, is going to be big for us.
What do you want to see from yourself this year? We'll start with you, Jordan. I'm going to ask you the same thing, Connor.
I just want to win, to be honest with you. I know if we win, then all of my goals that I have, which is like reaching the NFL, will be accomplished. So winning the MAC championship is honestly the biggest thing for me.
Connor?
Yeah, it's a similar answer from me. I just want to win a championship. I've never had the chance to do that in my college career, and be no better way to end my college career than go out with a championship.
I had asked Coach this. How do you guys approach, Penn State, Texas A&M, those are going to be games that a lot of eyeballs are on. How do you guys approach those?
Yeah, I think we, like Coach Loeffler said, we approach them like every other game. We prepare the same way every week, and we prepared the same way against Georgia Tech last year than we did Eastern Illinois, and we won both those games. So I think it's really important to keep the same preparation, keep the same mindset, and you go in there and play your hardest and see what happens, and that's how it is every single game.
Jordan?
Yeah, we prepare the same way. It's just another team, another game, another week for us. So the logo, the school name doesn't really bother us too much.
Opportunity, though? I mean, an opportunity to show. You did against Georgia. You mentioned Georgia Tech.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's.
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity for the guys that have never been on that big of a stage, and it's a great opportunity for our team and our school to kind of put ourselves on the map against a Power 5 or 4, I guess, team.
Yeah, we just want to win, I mean, every game we play, every game we go into, we're not trying to lose a game or not taking that as seriously as the Nets. So if it's a MAC team, if it's a Power 4 team, we want to win regardless. So,
Jordan Oludokin, Connor Bazelak, appreciate the time, guys. Good luck to the Falcons in 2024.
Thank you.
thank you.
We're going to take a quick time out. We will have more of the special edition of Sports for CLE from Mid-American Conference Media Days, Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. Stay with us.
Cash, moolah, greenback, snow, Skrilla, chips, bread and mold, cheddar, butter, lewd and scratch. Find the letters, make a match. Lettuce, gravy, game on the back for $30. That's a wrap. There's many words for cash, no doubt, but there's only one $30 cash word. Check it out. Cash word from Ohio Lottery. It's $30 show. Cash word, it's fun to go with millions in prizes, don't you know?
We continue this special edition of Sports4CLE from Mid-American Conference Media Days, Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio, where we are pleased to be joined by the head football coach of the Ball State Cardinals, Mike New. Coach, last year, 4-8, 3-5 in the MAC. You returned 8 guys on offense.
Yeah.
How big of an advantage is that?
Well, that'll be a big advantage. We had a tough start to the season last year. Obviously played a tough non-conference schedule, but we had a few injuries to some key players that really forced us to change our identity. So the last 6 games of the MAC really shifted a little bit in terms of what we were doing offensively, but the guys competed. Lost 3 one-possession games, 2 of them to the 2 teams that played in the conference title game, and then to Bowling Green on the road. But excited about the experience that we do return on the offensive side of the ball, starting with we return 4 starters on the offensive line. I'd take that anytime. And so for those guys to be back in the mix, and then all-conference tight end and Tanner Koziel, excited about that. And then obviously, it's going to be a big year for us. We've had a great offseason, but we have had a lot of change at our place since the end of the year, both from a coaching staff standpoint and with some additions from some young men in the transfer portal.
Tell us a little bit about that. What did you bring in? What do you like about what you brought in?
Well, staying on offense here for just a second, we knew we had to upgrade our team speed at the receiver position. The last 3 years we played great defense. We haven't been good enough offensively. We got to make some changes, and we got to make some adjustments to make sure that's a big point of emphasis. So we brought in 3 receivers through the portal. Justin Bowick, very talented, big receiver that can also run. A young man named Trey Firestone out of Purdue that we recruited heavy out of high school. Jamarian McDougal's a speed guy from junior college. Then we welcomed back, Ty Robinson was our leading receiver through 2 weeks, went down with a season-ending injury. He'll be back. And then we brought in an All-American, FCS All-American from Eastern Kentucky and running back Braden Sloan. So we brought in some key playmakers for us. I got a redshirt freshman quarterback in Caden Samanza out of California. He played in the first 4 games of the year, really did some good things, had a great offseason. Then shifting over to defense, obviously we lost a lot there defensively. We got a new coordinator in Jeff Knowles, who was a MAC champion defensive coordinator at Northern Illinois with Rod Carey before they went to Temple. But we brought in 5 defensive linemen from the portal that have played college football. That's where we lost the most guys. So excited about that. A couple of names: Riley Tolsma, from all-conference player from Hillsdale; Hunter Sanderson, all-conference player from Alma College in Michigan; and then Kai Montgomery. He was a national recruit out of Indianapolis Pike High School that went to Missouri. He's been a great addition. So really feel good. We had a lot of moving parts this offseason. Finally got our entire team on campus on Father's Day weekend, and excited to take advantage of the training camp segment there to get our team together and find out what we're going to be all about.
What's the message to this year's team then?
I think we're kind of working in silence right now. We realize there's probably not a whole lot of believers out there, and that's fine. But I love this team. I love the makeup. I love the leadership of the team. The 2 men that are representing our program today: Keontae Newsom. He's our leading tackler, returning from defense with 81 tackles a year ago. Stepped in, did a phenomenal job. He's also on the Student Athlete Advisory Committee. Just a phenomenal young man. And Tanner Koziel, and obviously he's had 2 great years for us. Been a freshman All-American, been an all-conference player. Those guys leading the way, and the way we've attacked this summer. Just excited about it. So we're excited to prove some people wrong and get after it. And I expect this football team, when it's all said and done, to be in the thick of things.
What do you, as you look at it, what do you think will be a strength of this team?
I think, obviously, when you talk about the trenches, even though we brought in 5 defensive linemen from the transfer portal, they've still played a lot of football. So the game's won and lost in the trenches. And when you can say you return 4 starters on the offensive line, Damon Kaler, Ethan Crow, John Mucciolo, and Tarantayo, those 4 young men, I'd take them any year that we were able to get 4 guys like that to really establish an identity, and just excited about that. This team's going to hang their hat on hard work, toughness, being a very well-conditioned team, and they're going to be ready to battle.
Is there an area that you can point to that you say, man, if we figure this out, we can really get things rolling.
Oh, I think there's some battles that I'm excited to see unfold here in training camp. What's the back end going to look like for us? You know, the corner positions, both safety positions. A young man that started at quarterback for us the final 6 games last year, Kyle Kelly, tremendous athlete, great runner. He's going to play corner for us this year. He's going to have a package on offense and be a return guy. So I'm excited to see how that all comes together. We got some guys that have played in games, maybe just haven't started a full season. So excited to see that battle come together here during training camp.
Mike New, head football coach of Ball State Cardinals. Appreciate the time and the insight.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Mike New, head football coach at Ball State. We're going to take a quick time out. Other side of the break, we'll hear from a couple of the Cardinals players on this special edition of Sports for CLE. MAC Media Days from the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. Stay with us.
At Ball State University, our promise is simple: to empower the success of our students. Our students benefit from immersive learning, innovative academic programs, and state-of-the-art facilities. Ball State offers a distinctive yet affordable educational experience and the ideal environment to prepare for a fulfilling career and a meaningful life. We inspire Cardinals to transform their communities, to revolutionize their industries, and to make a difference. We fly. Are you ready to fly?
Special edition of Sports for CLE from Mid-American Conference Football Media Day continues, and we have a couple of Cardinal players with us. Keontae Newsome, linebacker, tight end, Tanner Kozol from Ball State. Tanner, let's start with you. A lot of guys coming back on the offensive side of the ball, a lot of starters, 8 of them. What kind of offense can Ball State have?
We could have any type of offense that we want right now. With the receivers we have, the weapons at receiver are just going to be instrumental to our offense, and then the O-line, which makes everything go. They're a bunch of dirty working men that are just going to get the job done. I'm excited to see what they can do, and then with the quarterback we have this year, Kaden Simonza, with all these weapons, the sky's the limit for him. I'm really excited to see what he can do with his confidence and the spring ball that he's had and the experience that he got last season. It's truly going to be a very good year for him.
Keontae, I looked at this. 80 tackles, 45 solos. Busy man on defense. Yeah, 2 starters back. Tell me how good this defense can be, though.
This defense can be great because we do have a lot of pieces that we didn't have last year, and everybody's hungry to make a name for themselves. Like, we got guys that won All-Conference and All-American and D2 and in their respective conferences in their previous schools, and everybody just wants to make a name for themselves. Everybody's hungry. Everybody wants to make plays, and they've been waiting and waiting, and it's like just like licking their chops to get ready on that field. And it's exciting to see everybody just get in and do that work.
Coach mentioned a bunch of defensive linemen that you brought in. As a linebacker who had 45 TFLs, how excited are you about the additions to the D-line?
It's like we got some guys that fill up some gaps without even moving, and we got some guys that's going to come off the edge with bad intentions, and it's just going to be so fun to play behind because that makes my job easier. When the O-line and the quarterback has to constantly worry about the people that's closer to them, they kind of forget about me, so that makes opportunities for me to make more plays, and I'm just so excited to get behind them and play.
Yeah, I mentioned 80 tackles, 45 TFLs, couple of 2.5 sacks, and a touchdown. What do you want to see from yourself?
I want to see more tackles. Like, I missed a lot of tackles in the open field. I want to see those get made, and I didn't catch an interception last year, so having an interception return for a touchdown would be great to cap it off, but I need some of those under my belt before I get up out of here.
You always remember the ones you don't get, don't you? Yeah, I got you. Tanner, 34 receptions, 295, 3 touchdowns. How important, and Coach said best tight end that he best in the MAC, one of the best around. What do you want to see from yourself? What can you do in this offense?
I want to dominate every aspect of the game. I want to be a force in the run game. I want to be a weapon in the receiving game. And I want to be a leader in the locker room. I just want to see every single part of my game come together on and off the field to help this team win games.
How are you guys approaching this season? Last year I mentioned 4-8, 3-5 in the MAC. Coach talked about how things kind of were coming together at the end of the year. A couple of one-possession losses to the 2 teams that played for the conference championship. Your approach to this and what you believe this team can be?
We love that no one knows what we have in our locker room. We love that no one knows a lot of the players that are going to play this year. We love that no one knows the impact that they're going to have and the problems that they're going to cause. And we know it, and we're more than accustomed to blocking out all the outside noise and just worrying about us, because we know what we got, and we're just getting ready to show it and can't wait to put the work in for it.
Oh yeah, just like I was saying out there, he just said basically what I said outside to our camera crew. Is like no one knows the things that we do behind closed doors, and nobody knows who we have coming back. They just think we lost a lot. Nobody knows that we reloaded. So it's going to be exciting to see, and I can't wait to shock the world this year.
What's the message to these guys? What's the kind of the mindset this year?
To our younger,
just in your team, yeah.
Oh yeah, to just get these younger players to buy in, because we are a younger group, younger inexperienced group. Just getting them to buy in, just know what we're here for, what we're all about, and just constantly just trying to stay consistent and stack days is really the main focus for us. With being a younger inexperienced group.
Effort never loses. If every play you're giving 100% effort and you're straining every play, something will go right. Effort beats talent every time, and that's something that the younger players can see, whether it be special teams, new players. If you just strain and truly want it because you love this game, everything falls into place.
Tanner Koziel, Keontae Newsome, great stuff, guys. Best of luck to the Ball State Cardinals 2024. Thanks very much.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a quick time out. We will continue with a special edition of Sports for CLE from Mid-American Conference Football Media Days, Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. Stay with us.
Come back to go forward. Back to learning new things. Back to pursuing your dreams. Tri-C has flexible learning options to fit your life. And every year, more than 1,000 local companies provide Tri-C students with real-world learning. The right education can boost your lifetime earning power by hundreds of thousands of dollars. Start now with a college education you can afford. Tri-C, where futures begin.
Special edition of Sports for CLE continues from Mid-American Conference Football Media Days, Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. We're pleased to be joined by the head football coach of the Central Michigan Chippewas, Jim McElwain. Coach, appreciate the time. You have a number of guys back from last year. The team 5-7, 3-5 in the MAC. 17 starters back, though. What does that enable you to do?
Well, you hope they learned, right? You hope they learned through the struggles that we had, and you know, part of what we need to do is we need to learn to push through the struggles, right? And, you know, very disappointing year. We felt we were in games, gave us an opportunity to win, and just couldn't finish. So, you know, I think we learned a lot. I really like these guys. They're fun to be around, and I just want nothing but the best for them.
When you look at this team, with what you have coming back, what kind of team will it be? What do you think some strengths are?
You know, that's a great question. You know, the great unknown. You know, we've had some couple subpar years, and I put that on myself. You know, we weren't able to win some games we should have, and you know, for me, it's like kind of reflection. And what is it that makes you a great team? What is it that makes you one of those teams that can push through? You know, we worked on a lot of that stuff this off season, and I think we got some guys grabbing it a little bit.
Some linemen back that are really good. We'll talk to one of them here in a minute, but what does that enable you to do when you got guys that have started and played and been through it, especially on the trenches?
Yeah, and I'm a firm believer. It doesn't matter how good you are at any other position, but you got to be good up front, you know, and you know, it starts with your offensive line. We've got experience, which is a good thing, but at times we've got to play through the struggles a little bit, right? And you know, for us, seeing those guys come together and kind of realize maybe this is their last opportunity. You know, there's something about having some seniors.
When you look at the offense, again, that's a group that you have 8 guys back. What kind of offense do you think it can be?
You know, I think it can be explosive. I feel really good about some of the additions as well that we got on the outsides. You know, we've got 2 real good quarterbacks I'm really excited about. You know, the running back tandem we have, you know, I put it up against anybody in the league, you know, those 2 guys, and really our depth there, you know, we're about 4 deep at that position. So I feel confident about, you know, our ability. What we need to do is learn how to run the ball to win at the end of games, right? And again, you talked about the older guys up front, you know, those guys handling it. I do believe we have a chance to be a lot more explosive than we were.
If there was an area that I said, man, you're going to get this rolling, and what area would that be that would ensure success?
Yeah, when you look at it defensively, we haven't gotten many takeaways, and takeaways are the things that help you win games. The other side of that coin, for some reason, we kept giving it away. And so really for us, it's going to be take care of the football, which is the number one thing to do in the game of football. And we need to get the ball back on defense. And those two areas are something that, you look at the teams that win, they're doing it.
What's the message to this team? Kind of the motto that you want them to live by and focus on day in, day out.
Yeah, I think for us, it starts with PTS. We got to push through struggles, and we can't get our feelings hurt. We've got to be able to stand up, and every now and then somebody's going to knock you down. Are you willing to get back up, and are you willing to go do it? I mean, that's part of the struggle, and for us, really, that's kind of where it's at.
Have you got a sense? I know we're not actually into camp yet. You've had some of the summer workouts and those kind of things. Can you get a sense for every team's a little different? Can you get a sense of this team?
It's great. I've been very fortunate. I've been doing this quite a while, and each year you kind of each team kind of develops a personality. This team's personality has got a little bit of prove it, in it, and I kind of like that.
Coach McElwain, appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
All right.
Jim McElwain, head coach of the Central Michigan University Chippewas. We will take a quick time out here on the special edition of Sports for CLE from MAC Media Days. We'll hear from the Chippewa players after this timeout. Stay with us.
Life gives you plenty to wonder about. Like, when you're drying your clothes, where does that one matching sock go? One thing you don't have to wonder about is what you'll do with your degree from Central Michigan University, because you'll already be doing it. At Central Michigan University, we do. Do you?
We continue with this special edition of Sports for CLE from MAC Media Days, Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. We're going to talk to some of the Central Michigan University Chippewa players. We got Dante Kent, Braden Swartout, offensive lineman, defensive back. Guys, you returned 17 starters from last year's team that went 5-7, 3-5 in the MAC. What does that do, just that many people back that have started and played when it counts?
I would say the greatest way to learn is through experience. And 17 starters, that's a lot, And the guys with experience, we learn how to work with each other. That's what we do. So when it comes to game time and the experience, it's easier to communicate to somebody, or if I could talk to somebody a certain way, because we have that brotherhood, basically. Yeah. So just having that experience and returning 17 starters, I feel very confident going into this season.
Now, Braden, you started all 12 MAC games, second team All-MAC. Tell me what that means and the experience from an offensive lineman's standpoint. I mean, games are won in the trenches.
Yes, sir. So with you said, I've played a lot of games, so I got a lot of experience under my belt. So that's really the biggest factor in getting better in college football. It's the experience, and so yeah, all those snaps played, it's just helped me become a better player.
So 8 returning starters on offense. What can this offense be, do you think?
You can be a powerhouse on offense. We got a lot of weapons this year, and the fans are going to find out.
9 on defense. What are we going to see on the field defensively from the Chippewas this year, do you think, Dante?
Unity. We got a lot of guys, 9, so we only lost 2 starters. So we got guys we're going to be together. You got guys that's going to be loud, communicating, and just, won.
So 59 total tackles, 39 solos. That tells me come up and you're willing to play some run defense. How much pride do you take in that?
I take a lot of pride in my tackling, Growing up, I always took pride in football and tackling, so, I didn't play, others. I played other sports. I did football, track, and wrestling, but when it's wrestling season, I had the choice to play basketball or wrestle, and I decided to wrestle all my life, so I feel like wrestling helped me a lot. Shout out to Coach Don, my wrestling coach. I feel like wrestling helped me a lot as far as my form tackling, as far as understanding leverage, and yeah.
Let me ask you guys this. What's the message to the team? We'll start with you, Braden. The team, a lot of times you guys have a motto, a message. What kind of the approach that you guys are taking this year?
PTS, push through struggles. That's the motto, and we want to prove people wrong this season.
Does that come through especially close games, late in the game, those kind of things? Is that?
Of course, it's all about finishing too. You see, we had a down year last year, and a lot of that came to not finishing, and so that's one of the big things we want to get after this year is finishing.
What can be a strength of this team, Dante?
Strength, togetherness. We got a lot of new faces in the building as well as a lot of returning starters. But I would say it's something different about this group that I like. You could feel the energy when you walk in the meeting room. So I would say togetherness. That'd be a strength. Just playing as one out there and just being able to communicate and get the job done together. We win together, we lose together, we run together, we lift together, we do everything together. So, just our togetherness would get us through, I feel like.
Before I let you go, last question I'll ask you. What do you want to see from yourself and what do you want to see from the team? We'll start with you, Braden.
So I'm not really too worried about myself. I'm worried about the team. The personal accolades will come with team success. So I'm really just focused on team getting win after win.
Dante?
I'm a little versatile as far as playing in the slot and slot and corner. So I just want to work on more of my slot technique and get a little bit better as far as my personal goals. But as a team, just like he said, we need to be together. And yeah.
I sense a confidence. Is that something that you guys have as a group?
Yeah, no doubt. Our confidence is high right now. As I said before, I feel very good about this group. And we got a group that's willing to learn, a group that's coachable, a group that understands and that understands how to take leadership, a group that, is good followers. You got to be a good follower to be a good leader. I wasn't always in this position. I had to follow first. So.
Same question for you.
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, the confidence.
Yeah, like you said, we got a lot of returners, so we got so much experience under our belt. And to piggyback off him, the leadership this offseason, it's been incredible. We've just been building that leadership, and that's just helping everybody on the team.
Braden Swartout, Dante Kent, great stuff. Best of luck to the Chippewas in 2024. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
We'll take a quick time out. We will continue with more from this MAC Media Days, a special edition of Sports for CLE here from the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. Stay with us. We continue with a special edition of Sports for CLE from the Mid-American Conference Football Media Days, Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. We are pleased to be joined by the head football coach of the Toledo Rockets, Jason Candle. Coach, 9th season at Toledo. That I looked down and I go, wow. Take me through last year. You had a really good year, and I don't think I'm guessing it didn't end the way you wanted it to on the wrong side of the MAC championship game.
Yeah, I mean, I think really interesting start to the season, right? You're toe-to-toe with a Big Ten team for 59 minutes and 42 seconds, right? And then you run off 11 straight wins, and then you play a bad quarter football against Miami, and you lose on the last second field goal as time expires in a bowl game. So the bookends, not so cool. The in-between stretch, I mean, a lot of things accomplished that haven't been done in our program in a long, long time. I mean, to be in the top 25, to get to 11 wins, 10 first-team all-conference players, a lot of great accomplishments. But the cherry on top did not to finish it the way you wanted to finish it. That stings, and that's a motivating factor. And as you turn the page to what this season is going to look like, we've had a lot of really good intentional work through the offseason, and that being the driving force.
Yeah, take me through that. What's the message? And I imagine it stings more. I looked at that, I'm like, man, that's rough. But it's even more so to the guys that lived it and went through it.
Well, I think, like I said, a motivating factor, but I don't think that the message changes. I think each team's different, each year's different. We still have a bunch of high character guys that really enjoy the process of trying to be the best version of themselves in the classroom and on the football field. And I think that's the standard that's been set from the guys that have been before these guys. We lost a lot of great seniors, and Quinyon Mitchell becoming a first-round draft pick. I mean, there's a lot of really good things that have highlighted that continue to show the way for young players of what the expectation here is and what we need to do. So, I think really good work from in the offseason to this point in time. We got to double down on that and have a great preseason camp, but we're cautiously optimistic about what it can be and excited to get the season kicked off.
When you look at it, what do you think can be the strength of this team if it plays the way you want it to?
I think the strength is in us. I mean, just the people. Obviously we've recruited at a really high level here for a long time, so there's a lot of talent there. But the continuity and what a team looks like and how that morphs into what you want it to be, that's a different process every year. So you rely on a really good staff to continue to put a good message into the heads and the hearts of the young people in the locker room. You rely on really good leadership of that leadership council and those seniors to really let that take shape when the coaches aren't around. And then the summer program, that's a big part of that. So we feel good about that, and we feel good about where we're at from a psychological standpoint heading into preseason camp. And now it's time to go to work and see where see what it does.
Is there a kind of a mindset that you've sensed? You mentioned every team's different, and as a coach that's been doing it a while, you get a sense. What do you think the personality of this team has been? And I know you're not in camp yet, but you get a sense of it.
No, I do, and I think this is a very highly motivated, hungry football team. And you could go down the list, right? Like we want to celebrate the successes of Quinyon Mitchell. We want to celebrate the successes of the Judge Culpeppers and all these guys that are Dallas Gant and those guys that are in pro camps and were draft picks and the success of last year's team. But I think all of that to the side. I think there's a lot of young players that have patiently waited their turn to show everybody what they have. And, I think from that standpoint, so I feel the motivation, I feel the competitiveness. Spring practice had a little bit different edge to it this year than maybe some of the years in the past that, and again, whatever the motivating factor is, that's just how it was. So I think that's a really positive starting point. And, how do you continue to put fuel on that fire and take us through a great season?
You mentioned Q Mitchell. Is a guy like that, does his impact continue? Because all the guys that played with him saw what he did day in and day out, and he was, by all measures, one of the best cover corners in the draft. He went first round to the Eagles. Mm-hmm. But is a guy like that, does he have a lasting impact just because of everybody sees what it takes?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody, you take success and try to map backwards at how you got to that point in time. And I think for a young player, when there's a person in your locker room or a person at your position where he checked every box and did everything the right way, and he got the results that he wanted, and those results are also what you want, man, oh man, is that a clear picture of what it should look like. And any player in our program that didn't pay attention to that is foolish. To watch that guy, what a showing for the NFL draft in Detroit, right? To watch that guy come across the stage and get a jersey, impactful for our team and our locker room, great for the city of Toledo, awesome for our university, tremendous for our athletic department and our program.
I have a question, and this is off the beaten path a little bit. The transfer portal it's a reality. Does that in any way, when you bring people in, you generally can develop and you can mold them. And does the transfer portal affect that? Does it speed up the clock at all, or can you not let it?
Well, I don't think you can pay attention to it, to be honest with you. I mean, and I say that, it sounds ignorant to say that, but I think you can't. There's good in everything, right? Everybody hears the bad. Everybody hears that, man, oh man, this player left to go to this particular school, and that's for the wrong reason. First of all, none of us are in those kids' shoes, and none of us are being presented with some of the opportunities that they are at 18 to 22 years old. And if we were, man, oh man.
Take them.
Yeah, no question. So I think there is good in everything. I think there's lessons to be learned in everything. I think there's the rules of engagement that we have to play. Sometimes that sight moves and where that is going. But you either play the game or you get passed by. So you take the good with the bad, you take the bad with the good, and you put the best plan forward to help Toledo be the best product that it possibly can be on the football field.
All right, back to this year's team. What do you like about it? You get a sense of it. What do you like about this group?
Well, I love those two young men that you just talked to. And I feel like there's a group of guys around them that understand that those two are very impactful leaders in the sense that they do it the right way. They're high character individuals that pay really close attention and have a really good heartbeat on what their academics looks like. They are character driven, they're not image driven like most young people are today. They're going to be successful in life, and that's a great example for what our team is. And I get it, we judge coaches off of wins and losses, and that's part of the job. But I think from day one, when I became the head coach at Toledo, I always said you're not going to judge our players off wins and losses. We're going to judge them on what they become in society in 10, 15 years from now. And there's another two clear examples of what success is going to look like. So when you go to work with people every day that you respect and that you love and you trust and you care about, man, oh man, does it make the job much easier.
Jason Candle, appreciate the time and the insight. Thanks very much.
Thank you, no doubt.
Jason Candle, head football coach of the Toledo Rockets. We're going to step aside, take a quick time out. We will hear from a couple of the Rockets players coming up. Sports4CLE, the special edition from MAC Football Media Days, Pro Football Hall of Fame. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
The time is now. Your chance to take a leap, to do what you've been waiting for, like taking a closer look and making a bigger difference. Because when you become a Rocket, you're able to do smart things, to do art things, to do let's roll up our sleeves things. Whatever your thing is, you have the power to do what it takes. The University of Toledo, the power to do.
We continue with a special edition of Sports4CLE from the Mid-American Conference Football Media Days, and we are pleased to be joined by a couple of the Rockets players, Jerwan Newton, a wide receiver, and Maxon Hook, safety. Jerwan had a great year last year, 52 catches, almost 700 yards, 9 touchdowns. Take us through what you want to see even more from yourself this year.
Honestly, the end goal is just to help my team however I can. The stats and things like that will come, but the main goal is just to win games.
Maxon, safety, again, I see this 69 tackles, 37 solos. You had a couple of 3 interceptions, a forced fumble. The solo tackles tells me you don't mind getting in the box and playing in the run game. How much pride do you take in that part of your game?
Yeah, I mean, at Toledo, we use our safeties to fit runs, so defense relies on us to, fit some gaps. So we definitely take a big pride in that.
I know you guys had you were unbeaten, 8-0 in the MAC, 11-3 overall. Season didn't end the way you wanted it to. How much does that motivate you in what I'm referring to, MAC championship game? You made it, and then you fell to Miami. How much does that motivate you the way last year ended?
Yeah, absolutely. We made it to the pinnacle of the season and fell short right at the very end. So, we won the year before. We know what it takes to get there. So it's just, using that motivation to get back to where we want to be, but finishing the job this time.
Same question for you.
Just going off what he said, just knowing where we messed up at going towards the end of the season, just trying to correct those type of things when we get into the moment again, and just be ready for it.
You have 4 starters back on offense, 4 starters on defense. So not as many returners as previously. What does that do? How do you approach that?
Well, for a while we've been getting these guys along, just trying to get these guys up to the standard. That's why you start with winter workouts, spring ball, summer workouts. Now we're about to get into fall camp. Just trying to uphold those guys and to do the things the Toledo way. And then when the time comes, they'll be ready for sure.
Same question for you.
Yeah, we lost definitely some key players in the secondary. We lost the first rounder.
Yeah, first round.
But those young guys have been, learning from, Q and Chris and those veteran guys. They were getting molded the whole time that they were here, learning from them, and they've had a great spring, great winter, so they'll be ready to go by the time of the season.
So we're referring to Q Mitchell, who was first-round pick of the Philadelphia Eagles, so one of the best cover corners in the draft. So there's some history there. Confidence level, though. I mean, you mentioned it. You played the last 2 years. You've played in the Mid-American Conference title game. How do you approach it? There's got to be a confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. We go into every game and we feel like we're, a team to beat. And so every week we have to bring it all, and really in the MAC and every conference game is a championship game. If you want to make it to the end, every game matters, especially now with how the conference is working. It's going to be the top 2 teams, not just the East and West anymore. Every one of these games is going to be that much more important.
Same question for you. I'm curious.
Our confidence is there. Our confidence is going to be there every game. I trust in myself. I trust in all my teammates to go out there and just win the football game. I just feel like once we start getting to the end of the season, getting close to the championship, we just got to be consistent with what we've been doing all season long and just don't get complacent, and we'll get what we want done.
What kind of offense can this be? I mentioned you had 9 touchdowns on your own. So I know there's some guys that graduated, some guys that moved on.
Right.
But how good can this offense be this year?
Our offense could be even better than what we were last year. Toledo is always known for air raid offense, putting the ball out there. Past few years we had great running backs. We still got a returning running back, Jarquez Stewart, who's a very explosive guy. So just looking forward to making a lot of big plays.
Defense, 4 starters return. What kind of defense can you have this year?
Yeah, I think our defense is going to take another step forward again this year. I think we got a lot of guys who are hungry and ready to prove themselves. And so when you got a team like that, although we're young, there's going to be guys flying around, and I think we're going to have another great year.
Non-conference, getting ready for, you mentioned top 2 teams in the MAC this year will play for the MAC championship. There's no East and West. How important is that non-conference to get ready for MAC play then? We'll start with you, Maxon.
Yeah, especially for us, like you said, we only have 4 starters on both sides of the ball. So, getting those guys who haven't played as much ball, their feet wet, and to, playing in a game, playing in the system, I think that's huge, just before we're getting into those conference games. And like I said, those conference games are going to be huge this year.
Same question for you.
I feel like non-conference game, like he said, I feel like they'll just probably help us out getting ready for the MAC play. Honestly, I feel like every game is just a game for you to take an opportunity to get better. So,
Jawan, Maxon, appreciate the time. Best of luck to the Toledo Rockets in 2024. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
We will step aside, take a quick time out. We will have more from the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. It's a special edition of Sports for CLE. MAC Media Days on the football side of things. Stay with us. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program is dedicated to recognizing exceptional students, teachers, and schools throughout Ohio. Scan the QR code on screen to nominate students and teachers as Academic All-Stars and Teachers of the Month. They must be currently enrolled or teach in grades K through 12. Is your K through 12 school developing students' literacy skills to achieve success in reading? If so, you can nominate your school for the School of the Year. Students can win $100, teachers can win $500, and schools can win $2,500. Scan the QR code, fill out the forms, and nominate deserving students, teachers, and schools today. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program takes pride in honoring exceptional students, teachers, and schools across Ohio. Submit your nomination today. It's fun, fast, and free. We continue with this special edition of Sports for CLE from the Mid-American Conference Football Media Days, Pro Football Hall of Fame down in Canton. We're pleased to be joined by the head football coach of the Ohio Bobcats, Tim Albin. And Coach, a season ago, 10-3, 6-2 in the Mid-American Conference. Real close to getting into that MAC championship game. how does the last year's success, and you've been successful the last couple of years, how do you continue building on that?
I think obviously the back-to-back 10-win seasons, 5 straight bowl games, I believe. I mean, that takes talent. You got to have a talented roster to do that. I think to do it consistently takes character, and our coaching staff, top to bottom, from compliance to academics, the staff has done an outstanding job in targeting high character, talented young men.
So this season, only 2 back on offense, 5 on defense.
Yep.
What are some of the challenges with only 7 returning?
This is my favorite time of year. Every new season, it's a new journey, begins a new journey, and the production that's lost, that's part of college football. I know our coaching staff has embraced the portal era, this new ecosystem that we're in college football. When you have success that we have experienced, you lose staff members. I take that as a compliment, and there's opportunity to bring in better people. All right. So with the production that's gone, that we've lost, there's opportunity to bring in better players with the system. I don't view it as a negative. I view it as a positive. And again, the staff's done a great job, top to bottom. Our roster's stronger now than it was a year ago. Now, are we going to miss Curtis Rourke and Bryce Houston and Rodney Matthews? Sure, we are. All right, but the staff has taken advantage of this new environment and brought in some really, really exciting talent.
When you look at it, what type of offense can you be?
Well, I think you got a glimpse of it in the bowl game, with Parker, Ricky, just to name a couple guys. We return enough pieces as a football team. Offensively, up front, 3 or 4 guys that are going to have over 1,000 snaps. We've improved ourselves at the receiver position. And defensively, same thing. The back end, Jeremiah Wood, who's here with us today. Austin Brawley from Massillon. Adonis is from Cleveland. Roman, Tank Pearson. Those guys have got an enormous amount of experience. And I think that, again, back to the production piece of this, time's going to tell. But for me as a head coach, it is very, very exciting. We're going to be challenged as a staff, finding our best 11. And I mean, we return Gianni, our kicker, our punter, our hunters, our pollers got some experience. So we're going to be challenged as a staff here in the month of August, trying to figure out who the best 11 is.
You replaced Frank Solich, legendary head coach. How important was it for you to continue that on, and especially because the university, they didn't make you interim. They just said, yeah, you're our head coach, and they gave you the runway to implement what you needed to.
Well, I think it goes back to Director Cromer, her vision. And I want to be clear, I wasn't given nothing. There was a process. Trust me. Right. It was an intense one. Okay?
But I mean the contract.
They
saw the belief in it.
No, you're exactly right.
Yeah.
And again, I heard Director Cromer's vision, with the 4-year contract, and didn't do the interim thing. And I thank her continuously on that. That gave us a chance to recruit, in which our staff, I thought we have raised the bar with that, as I've mentioned. So, there's no way, no how am I replacing Coach Solich. No way. Can't be done. But I will say, I saw Coach go through it. I was with Coach at Nebraska for 5 years. I saw some of the things that he went through. And we've talked this through many times, and it was helpful to see Coach go through it at Nebraska, and I got a chance to learn from those things and apply it to our situation. I've said this before. It's I can't be coach. I got to beat Tim.
Oh yeah.
And 5 + 4 = 9, but so does 6 + 3. And so I've got my fingerprint on it. I'm just going to be. I've just been me, and I think the players respect that.
Yeah, I can tell you from talking to them, they do without question. What do you get coaches get a sense, and you have an idea. You don't know for sure because fall camp hasn't started. What's the personality of this team, just when you sense it?
I'm damn proud of it. It's blue collar. You know, the pieces that I've mentioned that we return, they are bought in to our core values, have done a outstanding job in leading the new guys that we have. And you know, I if you pick a word, again, I'm gonna, you know, as Coach Solich always tells our guys, and that I have also tell our guys and carried on, is the first box check in recruiting is toughness. And this team is tough.
Tim Albin, as always, great stuff.
Thank you
Appreciate
very
the time
much.
and the insight.
Best
Tim
of luck.
Albin. It is now Tim Albin's team at the University, at the Ohio University Bobcats. We're going to step aside, take a quick time out. We'll hear from some of the Bobcat players on this special edition of Sports for CLE. It's MAC Media Days on the football side of things from the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Stay with us.
The college experience shouldn't be one size fits all. That's why at Ohio University, our students step onto campus together as one class, then branch off to explore their unique ambitions. At Ohio, you'll connect with experiences that will prepare you for whatever comes next. And every step of the way, you'll be supported by fellow Bobcats here and around the world. At Ohio, we go beyond the college experience to deliver your college experience, filled with people and opportunities that will move you forward forever.
We continue with this special edition of Sports for CLE from the Mid-American Conference Football Media Days, and we're pleased to be joined by a couple of Bobcat players, quarterback Parker Navarro, Jeremiah Woods, safety for the Bobcats. Parker, let's start with you. Opportunity to get in there and run this offense. How excited are you about it, and how good can this offense be?
Yeah, I'm pumped up. You know, I think this offense has a ton of potential. I think we're doing some new things, and so I'm just really excited to showcase kind of the skills of all our best players. So.
Jeremiah, 5 starters back on the defensive side of the ball from a team that went 10-3, 6-2 in the MAC. If things are going the way you want them to, what are we seeing on the field from this defense? What kind of defense is this?
I mean, you're going to probably see a lot of similarities to last year. Again, we're going to come out there with attitude, come out there ready to play. We got a lot of key people returning, as well as some new pieces from the transfer portal. So I'm really excited about what we can do on the defensive end.
This one's from both of you guys. We'll start with you, Jeremiah. What's kind of the message? Teams have like a feel, a motto. Do you guys have anything that you're kind of relaying to everybody as you get ready to head into training camp, fall camp?
Just really go out there and just make plays, fly around. Don't worry about if you're messing up or anything. Just go out there, fly around, make plays, and have fun out there. So.
Yeah, I would say to piggyback off Jay Wood, just no fear of failure. A poised team that's gritty, you know, and I think we're gonna have to be a smart team. And so, yeah, I think that's what we're trying to embrace.
When you look at it, you guys were 10-3 overall, 6-2 in the MAC, real close to getting into that MAC championship game and playing for a MAC championship. Does being that close motivate you? I mean, does that make it, you know?
Yeah, definitely. One of our mottos is raise the bar, and that's what we're trying to do from last season, the season before, continually raise the bar, raise the standard. So, yeah.
Same question for you, Jeremiah.
Yeah, just, again, build off of what we did last year. 10 wins was great past 2 seasons, but this is a new team, and we're going to have to go out there and earn it and really just get to the next level, which is to win the MAC championship.
Coach Albin's now in his 4th year. So he, you know, was an assistant, has been there a long time. What's he been like to play for, just from your perspective?
Coach Albin, I feel like he's a real definition of a player's coach. Anything you ask for him to do, he's on it like that. Again, he's a great coach, but even a better person. So yeah, that's nothing but good from Coach Albin.
And Parker, I know you transferred in from, I think it was Central Florida.
Yes.
So what was it about Ohio and Coach Albin that drew you to Ohio?
I just think it's authenticity. He's really who he is, and he's a coach that you want to play for and you want to go fight for. And so, you know, kudos to Coach, and he's just somebody that can get his team ready, get his team fired up.
How are you guys approaching this season? Take me through that.
Yeah, we're really just trying to get all these new guys coming in on the team, get them all bought in, all on the same page, and really just take it one game at a time, and just continue to be smart, be gritty in each game, and just continue to pull out wins.
Yeah, same thing pretty much. Just how can we get better 1% every day? Again, we got a lot of new players, so bringing them along and making sure they're caught up with us, and I feel like we'll be ready to go.
Yeah, you mentioned it. So there's only 7 total returners, 5 on defense, 2 on offense that come back. Does that make the non-conference games even a little more important since, now it's the top 2. There's no East-West MAC. It's just top 2 make it to the MAC championship game. How important are those non-conference to kind of iron everything out?
Yeah, they're important just like every other game. Again, we're going to go in there ready to compete, ready to win, and we're going to treat it as every other game, step by step, game by game, and ready to compete.
Yeah, same thing. I think we want to win those games just as much. We have something to prove, and it's always nice to knock off a bigger team. And so, we're going in with that same mentality each game.
So you have Syracuse and Kentucky among those that will give you the opportunity. Parker, you played some last year. I think it was three games. Yeah, 3 games. How much more comfortable are you now that you're going to get the majority of the snaps?
Yeah. The bowl game was a huge confidence booster. Having spring really built confidence, and now just going into fall. I just feel like the preparation's there, and that's something that I can fall back on. And fall camp coming up, I think that's going to really help. Just feel really good about it.
Jeremiah, what do you want to see from yourself? You had a really good year last year. What do you want to see this year?
My most important thing is just staying healthy. My career, I've had a lot of injuries, so that's one of the main things. And also just make sure I'm a leader out there on the team for the younger guys, for the new guys, just someone that they can look up to that's going to step up to the challenge.
Jeremiah Wood, Parker Navarro, appreciate the time and the insight. Best of luck to the Bobcats in 2024, guys. Thanks. Appreciate it. We will take a quick time out. We will have more on this special edition of Sports for CLE from the Mid-American Conference Football Media Days, Pro Football Hall of Fame. Stay with us.
I am powerful beyond my wildest imagination.
I will define my future.
I will keep challenging myself to improve.
Because I am a future leader of this great nation.
I will be responsible for raising a beautiful family.
And educating not only my generation, but many more to come.
I will make a difference in my community.
And I will stand up for what I believe in.
I will not settle for simply chasing my dreams, I will achieve them.
Because I was given a chance.
An opportunity.
A home.
At Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America.
The ultimate leadership experience.
FCCLA has been one of the greatest experiences of my life.
It's made me who I am today.
Join us. We'll build a new future together.
We continue with this special edition of Sports for CLE from Mid-American Conference Football Media Days, Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. We're pleased to be joined by the head football coach of the Miami Redhawks, Chuck Martin. And Coach, MAC championship a season ago. You returned a number of guys too. What does that do for the program and for expectations this year?
Yeah, expectations are always the same. We're always trying to fight to get to, I say every year, trying to get to Detroit. It's hard to get to Detroit. The league's so even, it's so balanced. There's so many different teams that do such a good job, and then you're trying to get to Detroit, and when you get to Detroit, try to win it, because if you win it, it's a big deal, and it lasts forever. And I would say, never remember the runner-ups; they remember the champions. And if you find a way to get champion, your name goes up on the wall forever. So it was a great year last year, and kids played their tail off. We had a huge bump in the road. We lost Gabbert, week 8, and everybody kind of thought the season was up in smoke. And our kids did an amazing job, won 4 more straight, and then went on to beat Toledo in the MAC title game with our backup quarterback, which was a pretty amazing run. So we're excited. Like you said, we got a good nucleus back, and we're looking forward to the season.
Yeah, 13 starters, 7 on offense, 6 on defense, and you get Brett Gabbert back. What does that do? I mean, you have a quarterback that's played a lot,
Yeah, no, started as the first, we always say, first ever true freshman starter at quarterback in the history of Miami, Ohio football. And Ben Roethlisberger didn't even start as a true freshman. So Brett won a MAC championship in 19 as a true freshman. And then we got COVIDed out, and then we were one play away in 21. We missed a 2-point play that would have put us back in Detroit. And then 22 he got hurt, and 23 he got hurt, but we won it without him in 23. So since he's been there, we've been one of the top teams in the league, and record-wise we're the best team in the league during his time. And having him back and his confidence, his toughness, his leadership, his intelligence, and his just ability to throw the ball and make plays in big situations. Maybe watched our Cincinnati game a year ago. We broke a long losing streak against Cincinnati, and it took a lot of people, but his effort in that game was, everybody was talking about, like, he kind of willed us to the finish line. So it's pretty amazing.
This year's team, every team's a little different. What do you sense from them?
Yeah, still trying to figure out. Just this portal thing throws everything in for a loop. You really don't know who your team's going to be until the second portal window closes, which is kind of dumb. But you don't. So it's kind of like you get through the May portal, and then it's like now we got. So you used to start building your team in January, but you start to build your team in January, then you might have defections or additions because it comes both ways. We added guys in the spring, after spring ball. So it's not, you usually know more at this time of year. You're still developing. It's kind of like summertime and fall camp. It's a crash course on, hey. But we got great kids. We got Miami kids. We always talk about love and honor at Miami. We have kids that represent the school on and off the field. We have 13 starters back. We lost some really good players to the portal. We lost some really good players to graduation. But we also have a lot of quality backups that have played. There's a lot of non-stars that played a lot of football. So there's guys that are going to step into starting roles, but they'll be familiar to a lot of, like, oh, he made a huge play in the MAC championship game last year, but he wasn't a starter. So we have a ton of depth. It's always been one of our strong suits, is the depth of our football team, and we're excited. We're excited about the group we have.
So when you look at your offense, I mentioned it's 7 starters back, including a quarterback who's played a lot of football. Yeah. What can that offense be?
Yeah, we'd like to be explosive. We'd like to control the football game, either by scoring a bunch of points or controlling the ball. We had a game we started off last year. We went on a 13-minute drive and scored a touchdown. That's a pretty good way to start off a game. The other team got the ball with 2 minutes left to go in the first quarter. So we got 4 stars back up front, which is huge. We are really experienced up front. We've got 3 wideouts that have played a bunch. We got 4 tailbacks that have played a bunch. So we have a lot of experience and a lot of depth. So we'd like to be a team that can score and beat you with scoring 35 points a game, 40 points a game. And we were that team until Brett went down. We had to play a little more close to best after Brett went down, but we'd like to get back to being the team we were the first 7.5 games a year ago.
A lot of guys back on defense as well. What does that do for you, and what do you expect on that side of the ball?
Yeah, with Salopek and Ty Wise and Brian Ugu and Corey Suttle and Kobe Hilton and Rayon Strader, all guys that are proven high-end MAC players. And then we have a lot of reserves that will now become starters but have played a lot. So Coach Breeken is, we had historically, people don't even realize how good we are on defense. We gave 82 points in conference play last year. I think there was a Western Michigan, I looked it up, I think there's a Western Michigan team like early 2000s that gave up like 79 points. Like it was like the lowest point total in the history of the MAC in the last 35 years, which is, so they were dominant all the way through the MAC championship game. And then our special teams, we took a big blow. We lost, we lost the Groza award-winning kicker to Alabama. Got recruited off our team by Alabama. So it's probably a pretty good place to go, I guess, right? Alabama, usually people like Alabama a lot. So, but we have a lot of returners at specialists and returners, and so special teams will be a big part of our year too.
What's the message? Kind of every team kind of rallies around something. What are you rallying around? You're not going to tell me, huh?
We don't have one. Again, I always say people put stuff on the wall. It's great when you're winning. When you're losing, you never talk about it. I mean, I always talk. Yeah. To me, it's just it's a daily grind, and we're going to try to outwork people. We're going to try. We always say smart, tough, and together is kind of our message. Like, we're going to play as smart as we can, and we got idiot college kids, so we don't always play smart. It's just part of the deal. Like, if you have if you have a teenager in your own house, can you always get that person to do what you want them to do? No, I got 110 teenagers. Like, I'm the biggest idiot in the world. That's my life. Like, trying to get 110 idiot teenagers to do shit. So And then we always say tough, we're going to play as tough as we can. Sometimes we're pretty tough, other times we're kind of soft. But we try to be tough, you know, but we're going to do it together. And that we always feel like our biggest strength is our kids play for each other. They care about each other. We're a team. And I say 2024, the hardest thing to do in college football is be a team. It's not to be talented or design a good play or have a good defensive coordinator. It's to actually play together and care about one another, because everyone's coming and going. Like, everybody's got 1 foot in or 1 foot out. So how do you become a team when you're thinking about your next move or your next stop, you know? So we're trying to stay in it. I would say we're kind of the last of the dinosaurs. We're trying to still be a team. And fortunately, Miami University is a place where kids love to go to school. They love to get the degree from there, and what that degree can bring them down the road. We always talk about money. They made $100,000 a portal. I said, well, the average Miami alum makes $4.5 to $5 million. Would you rather have $100,000 or $4.5 million? And Mr. Steinbreck was just talking about that, and the value of education. You know, and well, there's a huge value if you come to Miami in getting a degree. So that's part of how we've kept things kind of going in the right direction.
Along those lines, what is having Matt Salopek back on your defense side?
So I'm thinking, I was just saying this earlier in the EA Sports thing, so there's either going to be no rules a year from now, or we're going to have whatever, and we're getting close. It's just complete chaos, right? Just do what you want. Our compliance guy talks. I'm like, shut up. There's no compliance anymore. What are you talking about? Are you kidding me? We have rules. Because if I can get a judge to overturn it, then I can just do what I want, right? Now I'll get some local judge. We all got a local judge in our pocket, right? That ain't hard to find a local judge that'll change the whole world, the whole landscape of college football to try to get some below average reserve on Western Michigan or West Virginia eligible so they could go 9-20. This is the world we live in. So my thought is Salopek and Gabbert, they're just going to play at Miami forever. I'm going to stay. I'm going to stay. They're going to stay. It's going to be old school. We're going to start fraternity together. You know, me and those. They'll be 35. I'll be 80, and we'll live in this fraternity house. And it'll be because there'll be no rule. You just keep playing college football forever, right? That's what they're trying to do. So I'm all for it.
I'm with you. I will help you.
You can live in a fraternity. I saw the movie Old School. It seemed like a good time, right?
All right. Chuck Martin, I appreciate the time. Thanks very much, and best of luck this year.
Thank you.
We're going to step aside. We will take a quick time out. We'll hear from Matt Salopek and Brett Gabbert coming up. Special edition of Sports4CLE.
Tough act to follow.
From the Mid-American Conference Football Media Days. Stay with us.
Miami is where today's students will decide what the next 200 years looks like. Today, we're first in Ohio and 12th nationally for a 4-year graduation rate. Plus, 99% of our grads are employed or furthering their education within 6 months of graduation. Simply put, Miami students graduate and make more money sooner.
We continue with this special edition of Sports4CLE from MAC Media Days. Time to talk to a couple of the Red Hawk players, the aforementioned Brett Gabbert, Matt Salopek, guys back for another season. What went into the decision to come back and play for another year at Miami?
Mine was probably a little bit different than Matt's. After my injuries, there was a real possibility, football might not be able to play again than it was, and I was like, I don't know if I want to. So ultimately I made the decision, whether this is my last year or not, I wanted to give myself one more chance to play the game I love, and it's pretty much how it went down.
Matt, what about you?
Yeah, like Brett said, a little bit different answers, but just been here. I love the people I come into the building with every day, my teammates, my coaches. And I really believe that what Chuck Martin's, trying to build here, and we've won a couple MAC championships, and I truly believe that we can go win another one and try and get in that playoff spot.
This season, you got a lot of guys coming back, a lot of experience. I think it's 7 on offense, 6 on defense. So offensively, what can this offense be?
Yeah, with the portal nowadays, you lose guys, you bring guys in, you got young guys up and coming, but like you said, we have 7. I think you said 7.
7 on offense, yeah.
Right, and then I think we have 4 returning starters on the O-line, which is very huge. So with a lot of veterans, it makes my job a little bit easier, and we got a lot of guys who have played a ton of snaps and a lot of really good football players. Whether it's O-linemen, wide receivers, tight ends, running backs, we have a lot of great players, great dudes in the locker room. So I think we should have another successful year on the offensive side of the ball.
You mentioned that, so you're back, and Coach has kind of delineated the success you've had at Miami, and you got the O-line back. Is that the makings of a pretty good offense right there?
Yeah, you would think so, right? But time will tell. You still got to play the game, so we'll see.
Defensively, you also have it's 6 starters back on defense, including you had a great season a year ago. 144 total tackles, 75 solos, 3 sacks, an interception, first team All-MAC. What can this defense be?
I mean, I think we can be even better than last year. I mean, we got a bunch of smart dudes on our side of the ball. A lot of guys that love to fly around with a high motor, and just a really good group that buys in and understands what kind of defense that we're trying to play. It's not a flashy defense, but we're going to get after you. We're going to stop the run, make you throw the ball, make you a one-dimensional offense. And we got to fill some spots on the back end and in the interior D line, but when you have a really good group that buys in on, creating turnovers, creating disruption, making quarterbacks feel pressure, and when you have a good front seven that's as smart as we are, we can be really good.
Coach mentioned defensively, historical in how few points you allowed. Is that, how do you follow that up? Does that motivate you to try to replicate it, do even better?
Yeah, we want to be the best in the country, no doubt. And I think, first of all, we have a great defensive staff that comes in each week with a great plan that puts us in positions to make the best plays. And when you have a really smart coaching staff combined with, like I said, a bunch of players that buy in and know how good we can be, I think we can be the best defense in the country with how good we are at stopping the run and making teams one-dimensional. The sky's the limit for our defense.
Your guys' confidence level, you don't come back for another year if you don't think something special can go on, I would assume. So how confident are you, and what do you want to see from the team and from yourselves this year?
Yeah, I'm always a confident individual. I believe in the guys in the locker room, and I believe in the staff. So yeah, like you said, or as Matt said, the sky's the limit for our team, and you always want to go to a bowl game. You always want to win a bowl game. You always want to go to the MAC championship. You always want to win it. So those are some goals of ours that we have, and I think it's achievable.
Yeah, same thing. Detroit's our goal. Like every season, we want to be up in Detroit. We want to be playing for a MAC championship. We want to win a MAC championship. And even this year, like I said, going to the playoff. We have a chance to, get in there and show off for the group of fives. So I think it can be really special for us, especially having him back. We can be really good on both sides of the ball and special teams. So when you got a lot of guys that, like I said, buy in and believe in what this team can do, we can be really special.
Matt Salopek, Brett Gabbert, appreciate the time and the insight. Best of luck to the Redhawks this year. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
We're going to take a quick time out. We will have more on this special edition of Sports for CLE from Mid-American Conference Football Media Days at the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. Stay with us. We continue with this special edition from MAC Media Days, Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. We are pleased to be joined by Lance Taylor, head coach of the Western Michigan Broncos. Coach, appreciate it. 4-8 in your first season, so heading into your second year, you return a lot. 8 on offense, 8 on defense. How does what you built last year, how can you move on from that? How can you even improve on that?
Yeah, well, that's the goal and expectation, is to take that next step and take a leap this year. We return a lot of guys. As I went through the roster this offseason, we returned 26 guys who have started games for us over the last season. And so, we've got a core group of leadership who understand the culture and expectation that we built last year and the standard. And they've taken ownership in that, and the buy-in has been at an all-time high. So I'm really excited about what we've done this offseason with our staff, also bringing in, some portal players in high school recruiting. We've done a great job, and our returning players have really taken that ownership and accountability to take us to the next step.
So if you look back at where you were this time last year as to where you are now, how big of a jump has it been?
Leap year. Last year it was swimming. First year head coach, every day is new. But also for the players and coachings, our staff, every day was new. They were trying to learn what my expectations, how do we practice, how do we meet, how do we travel? All those things were new. Now they can take ownership in that because they understand my expectations, what the standard is, and they've taken accountability in that to help grow that and help the young players and incoming players understand what our standard is.
So, when people watch Western Michigan under Coach Taylor, what do you want them to see? What do you want people, fans or alumni, to walk away saying, this team is?
Yeah, I want to play fast and physical and play simple and sound. That was my challenge to our coaching staff this offseason. I don't care if we run one play on offense, one play on defense. Let's master. Let's own the details. If we allow our players to play fast, we've got really talented players that have played a lot of football. They trust each other, and if we help them out, put them in great position from a schematic standpoint where they're not thinking, limit the communication, let them play smart and fast, we can win a lot of football games, I believe.
So 8 back on offense. What type of offense do you expect to have this year?
An explosive offense. That was one of the things that we really addressed last offseason. Thought we did a great job running the football. We knew that we wanted to revamp our pass game, especially play-action pass game. But we needed, explosive playmakers with speed on the outside. We went and addressed that, through recruiting. Our coaching staff did a, phenomenal job addressing those needs, and we've added some key pieces. When you look up front, listen, football is a game that's owned by the line of scrimmages, offense and defense. Offensively, we're returning 4 or 5 starters. There's 7 guys who've started football games for us at some point, and so we've got a veteran group up front. We ran the ball really well. We've got the returning, MAC Freshman of the Year and Jalen Buckley at running back. We've got a deep group there. Hayden Wolf is our quarterback, and he has been a great leader and unifier of our offense. One, the way he prepares and the time that he spends studying the game and the little things that he does has helped rub off on his teammates, and he brings them along with him. He gets the skill guys together and spends time watching film and extra throwing sessions, and those things weren't happening. They've taken ownership in that, so that's where it's exciting. And again, they've helped take that to the next level because of the ownership, knowing that it's their team.
I'm going to flip sides of the ball, and you got 8 back on defense that are listed as starters. I know there's more that have started games. What do you expect to be on defense?
Yeah, we've got a new defensive coordinator in Scott Power. I thought he did an excellent job in the spring. Again, simple, sound, so that we can play fast and violent. And, he has matched his scheme to our personnel and what we do well, and I think that's what a good coach does. It's not about your scheme or what you like to run, but really assessing what players you have and what they can be great at and putting them in position to be successful. We're returning our top 4 tacklers from last year. There's 6 guys who started or played in all 12 games, so there's a ton of guys coming back, and we also added some key pieces that are going to really help us, in the portal.
Lance Taylor, appreciate the time very much. Best of luck to the Broncos this season.
Go Broncos.
Lance Taylor, head coach of Western Michigan. We're going to take a quick time out on this special edition of Sports for CLE. When we return, we'll hear from a couple of the Broncos players. It's a special edition of Sports for CLE from the MAC Media Football Days. Stay with us. Special edition of Sports for CLE continues from the MAC Football Media Days. We're pleased to be joined by a couple of Western Michigan Broncos, Hayden Wolf, Damari Roberson, quarterback linebacker. Hayden, let's start with you. Coach had mentioned just some of the things that you are doing, getting position guys together, throwing, doing a lot of the extra work. How how much more comfortable are you this year as opposed to last?
Yeah, I've spent a year at Western now, so I think just being a little more comfortable, being in the building, being around the guys, the relationships that I've built, the trust that those guys have in me, and vice versa. So I'm definitely a lot more comfortable now, and all it goes back to relationships. We talk a lot about family. Forget about me, I love you. It's one thing that Coach Taylor talks about heavily in our meetings and within our team. So I just think the relationships that I've built here is as strong as the ones that I built in 4 years, at Old Dominion. So, even just a year at Western, I feel very confident in, the relationships that I have and the friends that I've made.
Damari, you're one of 8 starters returning on the defensive side of the ball. I want to look at this so I get it right. 68 tackles, 34 solos. A linebacker, so you're getting behind the line of scrimmage. Describe your game to me. Coach called you the human hit stick. So tell me how you like to play.
It's kind of, I would say it's kind of a balance. I like to be in the box a little bit, and I also like to cover a little bit. So I'm kind of a hybrid, I would say. That's why I'm kind of the nickel out there on the island, as they say.
So there's some versatility to that as well, though. 8 guys coming back. How good can this defense be?
Oh, we can be legendary. It's defense about trusting the person next to you and knowing the person next to you. So, and I think our defense, we played a lot of football together and we know each other's tendencies and stuff like that. So I think it's going to be a great year for us.
8 guys on offense as well. That comfortability, second year here. How good can you be on offense? What do you like about this offense?
Yeah, same thing. We return a lot of guys, and like Coach Taylor said, it all starts up front. I feel very fortunate to be able to play behind such a veteran group. Jake Gideon, Addison West, all those guys up front have played, a ton of football games. I would assume that we were probably one of the most experienced offensive lines in the MAC, and that's huge. Just being able for those guys to pave the way for us, in the backfield. We want to run the ball, and eventually that'll build, pass game and things like that, our play action shots and all that type of stuff. So, it all starts up front with us, and I'm excited and grateful that we have those guys.
If this offense is running the way you expect it to, what do you think we'll see Saturdays and Thursdays, whenever it is that you're on the field?
Yeah, it'll be a good change of pace from last year. Different run game, techniques, and our vertical passing game is going to be different this year. Last year we kind of got complacent in shorter passes and just playing in tempo. I think we'll do a good job this year mixing tempo and huddling and play action shots and different variations of our run game. So, I think we'll be, very versatile in what we do. And, I'm excited that, Coach Bell has kind of given me the opportunity to run some of our run game, if we're not in the right look, getting a check or something like that. So it's very pro style, and, I'm excited to kind of take that leap into it.
Damari, new defensive coordinator, Coach was talking about. What is this defense, and what do you like about this defense? Maybe that's a better way to ask it.
I like that because our old defense, we played a lot of man. And, at times that can get hard. That can get real hard. So, just the coverages that we're in, we play a lot more cover 3, and being able to see the quarterback, read the quarterback, and be able to play off the quarterback is it's way easier to play defense when you play it that way.
What do you think we'll see on the field? What type of defense will we see?
We'll see aggressive, fast, flying to the ball, a lot of energy. And overall, just a sound defense.
What about confidence level? You guys both kind of seem like you think this can be a pretty special year for Western Michigan. How confident are you this year? And take me through what you like about this group.
Yeah, I think, for me personally, this is the most experienced team I've ever been a part of. And this is year 6 for me, as it is for a lot of guys in our team. Kind of going down the line, especially on offense, we've got 9 guys who are in their last year, 10 guys, whatever that is, who have all played a lot of football. So for me personally, just being able to experience that with, guys, all of us going into our last year, our potential last year. I think for us, if we just focus on winning each week, we don't want to look too far ahead. Obviously, we have goals and stuff that we talk about as a team, but, if we could just win each week, do what it takes every day at practice, every day during fall camp, if we can kind of build and stack days, I think we'll be happy with our end result in December.
Damari, some question for you. What do you like about this team, and how confident are you?
I just like how close we are. I've been at Western for 6 years now, and I've seen a lot of football. I've seen a lot of teams, and it's just the camaraderie of the team. Like if you actually know the person's why to the left and to the right of you, it'll make you work turn it to a different level. So I just think the guys that we're around, we actually care about. As far as the defense, I can tell by the offense, we care about each other. We want to see each other succeed. It's not a one-man show. Like we need everybody to do their job to be where we want to be at.
Damari Roberson, Hayden Wolf, appreciate the time, guys. Best of luck to the Broncos in 2024. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
We're going to take a quick time out. We will have more from this MAC Media Days. It's a special edition of Sports for CLE. Stay with us.
Cash, moolah, greenback, snow, Skrilla, chips, bread and mold, cheddar, butter, lewd and scratch. Find the letters, make a match. Lettuce, gravy, game on the back for $30. That's a wrap. There's many words for cash, no doubt, but there's only one $30 cash word. Check it out. Cash word from Ohio Lottery. It's $30 show. Cash word, it's fun to go with millions in prizes, don't you know?
This special edition of Sports for CLE continues. We are pleased to be joined by Thomas Hammock, head coach of the Northern Illinois Huskies. Coach, as I look at it, 7-6 a season ago, 5-3 in conference, 9 starters back on each side of the ball, so 18 starters returning. You got to feel pretty good about prospects for 2024.
No, I really like our team, like the growth and maturity of our football team. We are a player-led team, and I think the closer you can get to that, the more opportunity you have for success. Those guys control the locker room, control the wins, losses, the adversity, and everything in between. And I've been proud of the leadership. I've been proud of the work, and we're anxious to get started.
So coaches get a sense of what their team is going to be like. What do you sense from this year's group? What are they going to be? What type of team are you going to be?
Well, I think it starts first with a level of physicality. We're very strong up front, offensive line, defensive line, to the point where, we have to be creative with the way we practice to keep those guys healthy. So if we can be a physical team, a team that can control the line of scrimmage, that will give us the best chance to be successful this season.
What are if there was an area where I said, if you're going to get this rolling, what would it be that would make this a really successful group?
Yeah, I think obviously it starts at the quarterback position for us. If we can find a guy that can be a 60% plus passer and minimize turnovers, we will be as good as we want to be. And I'm excited about the skill that we have. I'm excited about our defense. I'm excited about our run game. I'm excited about special teams. And to me, it comes down to the quarterback position. That guy being the leader, establishing a consistent level of play at that position, and special things can happen.
Who are some of the candidates?
Yeah, Ethan Hampton is a strong candidate. Jalen Macon is another candidate, and Josh Holt. Those 3 guys really competed this spring, have been having a great summer. It's going to be interesting to see who can separate in fall camp. And I think all three of those guys we can win with, and I think that's an exciting thing from a depth standpoint. If your number 1 guy goes down, the number 2 better be ready. So I like the depth, I like the talent. They just have to go out there and do it.
What's kind of the mindset, the motto for this team?
Yeah, I think the motto for us is we have a little acronym, SOAR, standards, opportunity, and results. And I think that's important for us. We have standards that we want to adhere to. We have a great opportunity, and then it's about obviously the results. And then accountability is a big thing for our program as well. And I think that's something that we talk about is a pillar for everything that we do. So we had to have accountability in there as well.
So you mentioned opportunity. Non-conference, Notre Dame, North Carolina State. Are those? Those are a lot of eyeballs will be on the program.
Yeah, no, I think obviously people get excited about those games, but as a coach, you get excited about the first game. having a great training camp, getting off to a great start to start your season, and trying to create some positive momentum. And then the rest of the non-conference will take care of itself. But it's a great test for our football team because if you can play well in those games, then obviously that gives you a great chance to play well throughout the rest of the season.
So, for a long, you played at Northern Illinois, and the hard way has always been kind of the mindset. Take us through what that means to your players.
Yeah, the hard way means different things to different individuals. But at the core of what we believe in, we're going to do whatever possible to try to put us in a position to be successful. That if it's a tougher workout, good. If it's a tougher game, good. If we struggle a little bit, you have to have that grit, that determination, that focus to recalibrate yourself in a way that's going to do everything possible to give yourself a chance to win. And I love the fight of our team. We had some adversity last season, and then we won 6 of the last 8, and that speaks about the mindset and mentality of the players in our program. Because a lot of times, if the ship start going one direction, it's hard to steer it back in the right direction. And I think that's a testament to our players, that's a testament to the coaches, that's a testament to the culture. And all those things, when they come together, give you a chance to have success. And that's why I'm most excited about this football team. There's a bunch of guys that been with me the whole duration of their career. I think we got 21 seniors that's been here the whole duration. So those guys know what it takes, know the standards, know the expectations, and we're anxious to get to work.
Thomas Amick, head coach, Northern Illinois.
Thank you.
Appreciate the time, appreciate the insight. Best of luck to the Huskies this year.
I appreciate it. Go Huskies.
We'll take a quick timeout. Other side of the break, we'll hear from a couple of the Northern Illinois Huskies on this special edition of Sports for CLE. Stay with us.
Welcome to Husky Stadium for NIU football.
Here come the Huskies! Go! Terry O'Brien got the NIU touchdown!
Join us in Husky Stadium this fall for 6 home games. That's 5 Saturdays in one season, the most since 2012.
They're done! Huskies win it!
Don't miss a minute this fall. Grab your tickets now.
Special edition of Sports for CLE continues. We turn our attention to the Northern Illinois Husky players and Jay-Sean Prophet, safety, and J.J. Lippy, offensive lineman. J.J. started 13 games at left guard last year. 8 starters back on offense. How important is that line play and the experience that you guys have?
Yeah, I think it's very important. We're a vet group up front. And we've been with each other since we all got here, so not a lot of us have left. We all stayed, so I think the relationship that we got as a group is really beneficial and will really help us this year.
Jason, safety, and I just want to go through these. 33 tackles, 22 solos, forced fumble, 8 passes defended, a team high. The solo tackles tells me you're coming up in run support and playing in the box some. How much pride do you take in that part of your game? And I know you got the passes defended, which is important.
Definitely, I take a lot of pride in just coming up and making tackles for our team because, at the end of the day, it's team football. So, I have to help my team as much as I can. And if that requires me to come up and make tackles and also defend the pass, I'm willing to do it.
With so many guys back, you got 8 starters on each side of the ball. Coach mentioned there's some other guys that have played a lot of football. What does that do for a team? Just having a lot of guys that have been there and have played meaningful snaps.
I'd definitely say it helps with the chemistry. It helps, as far as playing on defense, it helps us bond together and understand each other, understand how to help each other, and just being able to connect with each other when adversity strikes. I feel like it's very important for a team to be able to handle those adversity together and not separate when it gets hard.
Same question for you.
Yeah, I would say having everybody and having that vet group and all the relationship, like you're saying, Coach Hammock's really big on relationships, and I think just having that on the field is just an extra layer of success that we have that benefits us when we go into games, and I think that's really important for us.
Coach mentioned it's a player-led team. What does that mean to both of you? So, JJ, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I think it's just taking accountability and ownership of everything that we do. It's not the coaches calling us back on drills, it's us calling each other back. Not letting guys slide, be late to meetings, anything along those accountability terms really is why it's been a player-led team, and that's what we've taken ownership, not the coaching staff.
Yeah, and I definitely think that the accountability parts from like your own peers is what helps like guys like respect you more and guys like respect the standards more. So like being able to have that player-led team, it allows all of us to mesh and just all of us to like hold the standard and hold each other to like the highest standard for each other.
What do you expect from this year's team? What is this year's team going to be like? I'll ask you on defense, Jay-Sean.
I mean, we can't like speculate that like now. We definitely have to go into training camp, but like we would hope for like our defense to still be playing well, clean up the things that we were deficient at last year, and yeah, just be like successful, whatever success looks like for us.
What were some of the things you want to improve on from a season ago?
Something from the season that I would probably say, basically like cleaning up like our mistakes in the first half is something that's easily like something that we could change, like starting fast, like something that coach like has been harping on all summer is like starting fast. So like basically like starting fast is one of the key things that we want to transition to this year.
JJ, what about offense? What do you want to be? Maybe that's a better way to ask it. What do you want to be on offense?
Yeah, honestly, just some dogs. I mean, we love running the ball. We've ran the ball a lot in my career, and I think we take a lot of ownership in that. And you know, we always want to build a championship mindset, and I think that starts up front, and that starts with running the ball. So I think that's really big.
I asked Coach about this, and I'll ask each of you about it before I let you go. The hard way, what does it mean to you?
The hard way to me means that we're not going to take any shortcuts, and we're going to fight no matter what.
What does it mean to you, Jay-Sean?
To me, it's just basically having that grit, you know, seeing things through no matter how hard it gets or how uncomfortable it may get, like seeing it through and just being a dog to continue to like try to achieve that success or what you're looking for.
Jay-Sean Prophet.
Nice to meet you.
Good job. JJ Lippy.
Thank you.
Best of luck to the Northern Illinois Huskies in 2024. Appreciate it, guys. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to take a quick time out. We will have more on this special edition of Sports for CLE from MAC Football Media Days, Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. Stay with us.
Come back to go forward. Back to learning new things. Back to pursuing your dreams. Tri-C has flexible learning options to fit your life. And every year, more than 1,000 local companies provide Tri-C students with real-world learning. The right education can boost your lifetime earning power by hundreds of thousands of dollars. Start now with a college education you can afford. Tri-C, where futures begin.
This special edition of Sports for CLE continues from MAC Football Media Days, Pro Football Hall of Fame down in Canton, and we're pleased to be joined by the first-year head coach of the Buffalo Bulls, Pete Lembo. Pete, you were associate head coach, special teams coordinator last couple of years at South Carolina. What was it about the job at Buffalo that was so appealing?
Well, I'm originally from New York. I played high school football in New York, got my master's at SUNY Albany. And I'm also very familiar with the MAC, having spent 5 years as the head coach at Ball State. Yep. But Buffalo was always one of those jobs that I thought could really be a powerhouse in this league. First and foremost, because the school is so strong academically, and a lot of people don't know just how prestigious the degree is from Buffalo, and hopefully we're doing a good job of spreading that message. But the area, the town, the fact that we've got a great airport just 10 minutes from our campus. We've got a lot going on in Western New York relative to sports and entertainment, and really just great people. And that's been confirmed for me this last 5 or 6 months, just ingraining myself in the community, both on campus and in the city itself. We've got wonderful players on our team, high character guys that are playing for all the right reasons. A very supportive campus community, and a local community I think is very hungry to see us get back to some winning ways.
So when you kind of visualize this, what do you want people to watch your team at Buffalo play? What do you want them to take away? When they walk away, what do you want them to say? You said, man, the Bulls are...
Yeah, you know what? We've all seen healthy, energetic organizations, whether you're walking into a car dealership or you're walking into some other kind of business, relationships and people that you enjoy being around, and people that have high energy and love what they do, passion for what they do. We all know what that looks like and feels like. And that's what we want our team and our program to be. And I'm so proud of these players, how they've embraced me and this new coaching staff and how engaged they've been in this transition. We really have been all in it together from day one. And so when you say, what do I expect out of our team? I expect that same sense of togetherness, that same passion, that same work ethic. You know, Buffalo and Western New York, we pride ourselves, I say we because I'm as much a part of it now, we pride ourselves on sort of a humble, modest, but hard-working approach to everything we do. And I want our team and our program to reflect that as well. And so the best thing I can tell you is that it's been just about 6 months now, but I feel like I've been there a lot longer because this transition has gone very smoothly for all of us. And I hope that that is reflected in how we play this fall. You know, there was a time in college football where you took a long-term approach and you thought about what was going to be 4 or 5 years down the road. For some good and bad or reasons outside of our control, things all happen a lot faster now. So you don't change your approach. You're still all in and fully invested in this group of guys you have, but teams are changing at a more rapid pace because of transferring and so forth. So you have to hit the ground running, and you almost have to look at it like it's a race, not a marathon. And what can we do? And I think you have the ability now to turn things around a lot more quickly. So I'm really excited to see what this team can do.
I know it's still, you're not in camp yet, but when you look at this team, what do you think can be a strength of it?
Well, we've got 2 linebackers here with us at this media event for a reason. I really think our defense has a chance to be very, very solid. We've got really good leadership over there. We've all of a sudden, thanks to some additions from the transfer portal, we've got pretty good depth over there as well. And some of that depth was there even before the transfer portal opened, especially at the defensive tackle position and at the defensive back position. So we've got good competition on defense heading into preseason, and I hope that as we start off the season and we kind of find our stride on offense and special teams, that the combination of our leadership, depth, our talent on defense can kind of help us get started in the right direction. And then I also hope, because we talk a lot about finishing and playing well in November and those meaningful games in November, I hope that we can continue to develop those guys so that we have some depth emerge when you need it late in the year.
On the field, what will a Pete Lembo team look like on the field?
On the same page. That's something that we talk a lot about. We try to speak the same language. We try to make sure that whether it's the top player on our roster or the walk-on that just joined us over the summer, that we are all aligned in terms of where we're going and how we're going to get there. So speaking the same language, we're all very different people, which is great. We embrace that. But when it comes to this team, we need to think the same way. Because ultimately what we're trying to do is to put guys in position with great habits who can make split-second decisions and do it with confidence and then make an impact. And I think the way you do that is by trying to be as clear and concise as you can be and make sure you put the time into aligning everyone within the organization. And I'm optimistic about where that's going.
Pete Lembo, appreciate the time.
All right, thanks so much. Good to be here.
Best of luck to you and the Bulls in 2024. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
We're going to step aside, take a quick time out. On the side of the break, we'll hear from a couple of the Bulls players on this special edition of Sports for CLE. From MAC Media Days on the football side of things, the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. Stay with us.
Here, we put in the work to transform ourselves so we can learn to transform the world. The University at Buffalo is a place of big ideas and bold ambitions, of extraordinary thinkers, and pride in being part of something remarkable. That's why students from all around the world come here.
Here. Yeah.
Here. Here is how it all begins.
Special edition of Sports for CLE continues. We turn our attention to a couple of Buffalo Bulls players, a couple of linebackers, Red Murdoch, Sean Dolak. Guys, Coach alluded to this last segment. There's a reason we're talking to a couple of linebackers. How strong can this defense be, and how motivated are you to get things rolling? We'll start with you, Red.
I don't think there's any limit to the strength of this defense. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves and say we're going to be the top team in the nation, but I definitely don't have any doubt that we will be a very feared defense throughout the MAC. We definitely pride ourselves on a lot of stuff that doesn't even require talent, and we really take a lot of time to develop, like discipline, just effort, everything that you can control. We're going to be on that times 10. So when it comes to like a really sound defense, we try to embody that.
Sean, same question.
Yeah, no, I can agree with Red. We want to be consistent. That's the biggest thing. We want to be consistent. We all want to be on the same page. And that's just getting reps and reps and reps during fall camp and preseason. And that's what we're going to do. And, we have a lot of guys returning as well from last year's defense. And just being able to gel as a defense is going to make us stronger. And being able to do that is going to lead us to being that top team, top defensive in the nation, which is ultimately our goal. We want to be the best in the MAC. And that's what we're going to strive to do. But we all have to be on the same page, like Coach Lemon was saying. As a defense, as an offense, as special teams, we all have to be on the same page. And that's what we're going to be looking forward to do.
So first-year head coach, Coach Lembo, what have you noticed about him? What stands out about him? I'll ask you. We'll start with you this time, Sean.
Yeah,
I'll ask you both the same question.
Yeah, for sure. No, for me personally, what stands out about him is his personality. I mean, once you get to know the guy, he's just a genuine dude. And he wants the best for you. It's not just about football with him. It's about getting to know you, develop a relationship with you, and get to know the personal side of your story, your family story, and just develop that relationship that every college athlete wants with their coach and with the coaching staff. So he does a really good job with that. He can crack jokes when there's time for jokes, and then he can get serious. He's very prideful in special teams, and I believe that he's going to get us to be one of the top special teams. Colleges in the nation. So that's a huge thing about him, and he's just an overall great head coach.
Red, same question.
When I think of Coach Limbo, the three words that come to my mind immediately would be genuine, straightforward, and structured. And I think those are three great pillars to build a championship program around.
Sean, you were injured last year, and you only played 4 games, 17 solo tackles, an interception, 31 tackles. First of all, how healthy are you? How are you feeling?
100%. I'm ready to get back into it. I'm excited for it.
What kept you here at Buffalo?
Oh man, just the guys like Red, and just the players around me. Always just being, hey, we're here for you. And the darkest time was obviously when I got hurt, and just having these guys around me, just supporting me, and just saying, hey man, like if you need something, we're with you. And like I was telling Red earlier, something that I critiqued myself about was I stepped back on that leadership role when I got hurt, and him supporting me, hey, telling me like, hey, I need your help still because I'm still playing. That kind of like opened my ears up, like, yeah, they still need me, and that's a reason why I decided to come back and stay. Is just, like I said, also just the Red and everybody around me just tell them, hey, we want you back. You deserve to be here. You've made a name for yourself, and also just it's Buffalo. It's my hometown. I grew up here.
Yep.
So
Red, you had 60 total tackles, 36 solos, 4 sacks, 4 forced fumbles. Jumps out. Are they teaching you to rip the football out when you arrive at the ball carrier?
I mean, initially, I always had a knack for the ball. That's been a big focus for me. But definitely, I got to give a shout out to our program. We really had a large emphasis on that. So not only that takes my natural instinct for going to the ball with a little technique, and gave me a very good chance to get some balls out. I missed a lot though, so we should expect that number to jump out a little more.
Guys, this defense, what type of what are we going to see on the field when you guys are on assuming that it goes how you want it to go, which I know there's work to be done. What type of defense can this be?
It's going to be a tough defense. I mean, you're going to have guys flying to the ball, flying around, and Red's kind of specialty, punching the ball out, making plays on the balls, and just being together as a group. We build a lot of connections in the locker room and outside the locker room. Guys hanging out outside of football, and I think that's what creates a great defense is guys being together outside of football, because you build relationships outside of football. When you come together, you already know you got your brother's back. You want to go to war for them, and you're going to do anything basically to ultimately get the win for them.
So, Red, same question. What's this defense going to look like on the field if it's going the way you guys want it to?
I say our defense will look like a very disciplined, a very, very fast defense, taking great angles towards the ball, very good at tackling, great effort, no matter who's in the game. That's just our identity as a program, not even just a defense, but us specifically. You want to see discipline, effort, great tackling, and also a lot of turnovers and a lot of big plays.
All right, before I let you guys go, how confident are you in this season as you move forward? New head coach. It seems like you guys, you're all bought in. How confident are you that 2024 is going to be a good one for the Bulls?
I think confidence is bred by preparation, and shoot, we've been very prepared, putting a lot of extra work outside. You have a plethora of guys that are putting in so much work right now. I can guarantee, I call Deion Crawford right now. He's probably doing some pass rush or DB work right now. Man, we have a very, very prepared team. So by that, we have a very, very confident team.
Yeah, same thing. I mean, I think Red hit on the note. Being prepared allows you to be that team that's going to be confident. We're not going to be overconfident, but we're going to be confident enough to allow us to get the wins, get the the W's, and we're going to be a humble team as well. And I personally believe that if we want to get to a MAC championship, and if we want to win a bowl game, win MAC championship, we're going to have the opportunity to do that. Each team, each week is different. Each team can be any team, and I think we're going to have the opportunity to come out and just play as a team, play as united, and we're going to be able to do that.
Sean Dolik, Red Marek, appreciate it, guys. Best of luck to the Bulls in 2024. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to step aside, take a quick timeout. Other side of the break, we will have more from MAC Media Days, football side of things from the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. It's a special edition of Sports4CLE. Stay with us. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program is dedicated to recognizing exceptional students, teachers, and schools throughout Ohio. Scan the QR code on screen to nominate students and teachers as Academic All-Stars and Teachers of the Month. They must be currently enrolled or teach in grades K through 12. Is your K through 12 school developing students' literacy skills to achieve success in reading? If so, you can nominate your school for the School of the Year. Students can win $100, teachers can win $500, and schools can win $2,500. Scan the QR code, fill out the forms, and nominate deserving students, teachers, and schools today. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program takes pride in honoring exceptional students, teachers, and schools across Ohio. Submit your nomination today. It's fun, fast, and free. Special edition of Sports4CLE continues from MAC Media Days on the football side of things, Pro Football Hall of Fame. We're pleased to be joined by the head coach of Eastern Michigan, Chris Creighton. Coach, appreciate the time. So last year, 6-7, 4-4. You return 7 on defense, 4 on offense. But the interesting thing is 53 newcomers. That's 7th most in the NCAA. That includes freshmen in the transfer portal. 28 of them from the portal, 5th most in the NCAA. It's kind of the environment we live in. What about the guys that you have getting ready to play football for Eastern Michigan?
Yeah, the entire team?
Yeah.
Yes, most of those guys came in January. I think that's part of our philosophy, and I think it's super important. The sooner you can get your team together, right? Some came in May, in June, and that's going to be inevitable. But so January seems like a long time ago. I mean, even though we haven't played yet together, as a team, and that's the case every year, we're together. It's a good group. I think one of the things that we did with those 53 that we did really well, of course, you're trying to get crazy good talent. That's always the case, but we've got a high standard in terms of our fit. We know who we are and the character, the people. And so especially those who've been here since January, you know who they are now. And we hit it out of the park, with getting our fit. And so we're super excited about it.
So the other thing that I didn't mention is since 2021, you've played in 16 one-score games. That's fourth most in the NCAA. 10-6 in those games, which to me, that says, man, we're tough. We find a way to win close games. That's the best. Of any of them that have played more than 15, that's the best record.
Yeah, there's two ways of looking at it. Right, it's the best, and those 10 were a lot of fun, but probably you think more about the 6 that didn't happen. But yeah, no, you use the word tough. I mean, I think people first think of that still physically, and we certainly have that. Our guys, the mental toughness, I think, is what's key, and we definitely aspire to be that.
11 starters back. We mentioned all the guys, and you got a lot of guys in that you like. When you get a sense, what do you think this team looks like? Let's start on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, we are going to have a lot of new faces that are going to be playing for us. It doesn't mean, though, that those people are playing football for the first time. We definitely have developed a group that is now ready to play for us offensively, that's been in-house and that we recruited, as high school kids and have grown them. And then we've brought in, a group of guys that, again, may have been at other places, but doesn't mean that they haven't, been playing. So, one of our challenges is just bringing that group together, right? I mean, that's always a challenge, and we love that challenge. So that's got to happen, and we've got to get our identity and become what we're capable of becoming. More back on defense, still have some new faces there, especially, like our linebacker group is really, really new. And again, January more so than May or June. But because we got people who fit us, who want to be at Eastern Michigan, and I think we do a good job of articulating who we are, and we mean what we say. And so when we do attract the right people, then you got a chance.
Take us through that. What kind of guys do you want? What kind of guy? I know the stadium is the factory, but what kind of guys do you want?
Yeah, the first thing, honestly, is we want really good people. You know what I mean? We practice for a couple hours a day, and you do that for certain times of the year, and you get to play 12 guaranteed games. I mean, I don't want to be miserable. I don't know what tonight is, but yeah, on Friday night, I'm not going to be sitting around wondering whether the chief of police is calling me. You know what I mean? I'm serious. I mean, I just want people who care about each other, who love football, who want to be at Eastern Michigan, and all of us. Eastern Michigan, we've not won a MAC championship since 1987. We've won one. And so there's people, that don't believe that Eastern Michigan, can do it. Certainly didn't believe it when I first got there. And so there's still that chip on the shoulder. You start talking about the toughness and whatnot. We've got guys, we want guys who believe in themselves and, who have the confidence and the courage to come to a place that is on the verge but hasn't done it. And to be a part of something bigger than yourself and then go do it. Those are the kind of guys we want. And those are the kind of guys we get.
So you guys coaches get a sense of what a team is going to be like just because you're around them so much. What's this, when you're around this group, what do you get a sense? What's this team going to be like this year?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, like the guys who have been with us, they almost act like coaches when there's new guys coming in. I mean, they're part of the recruiting process. They give us the thumbs up or thumbs down. We ask them for their feedback. They do an incredible job of quickly bringing the guys into the program and into the culture. Almost, I mean, sometimes guys, it's awkward for our new players. They're like, I'm here to play, and you're at my position, and you're helping me. Like, what's the catch? But it's who we are. And so I think there's just a lot of excitement and anticipation of what we can be, right? Spring went well for us. We have some new additions since that time. I don't know that we have 6 Heisman candidates on defense and 8 on offense. It's more so the fit and the group together, the unit and then the team, sort of all coming together is what's going to be our strength. And so we're excited about getting started.
Before I go, I want to give you the opportunity. Max Crosby, the All-Pro defensive end, made a gift back to the program. Just tell us about that and how grateful you are to have him as engaged as he is with Eastern Michigan.
When he came back, he said he was 26 years old, right? He's a current player, and his wife is a soccer player from Eastern. So they did it together and, named the field. We took the track out, and our track program is phenomenal. We have another Olympian going to Paris, actually played football and ran track. And so they're going to get their standalone stadium, which is awesome and completely deserved. But the factory now looks like a football stadium, thanks to the Crosbys. And it's finished now, and we're on it, and it's awesome. So we're super appreciative, not just for the gift, but he came back a year ago too to talk to the guys. And you can hear a pin drop, he's a big deal to a lot of people. That don't know him, he's even bigger deal to those of us who do. And so we're very grateful, super proud of him. I took a picture of, one of the gold jackets in here and gave him the eyes, that's one of his goals, is to be here. And I believe it's going to happen.
Chris Creighton, appreciate it very much. Thanks very much.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, best of luck to the Eastern Michigan Eagles this year. We're going to step aside, take a quick time out. On the other side of the break, we'll hear from a couple of Eastern Michigan players. It's a special edition of Sports for CLE. Hear from MAC Football Media Days, Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. Stay with us.
Your future is a world of opportunity. An anything is possible world. At Eastern Michigan University, a global classroom experience awaits you. People from every corner of the globe collaborating, creating tomorrow together. A campus rich with people from unique backgrounds and perspectives. Classrooms that mirror today's global workplace. It's a brave new world. Are you ready? Be true. EMU.
Special edition of Sports for CLE continues. MAC Media Days on the football side of things from the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. We're joined by a couple of Eastern Michigan Eagles. We have Justin Jefferson, defensive lineman, Jerry Getzinger, tight end. Justin, I'm going to start with you. 46 tackles, 14 solo tackles, 3.5 sacks, a forced fumble. You're getting in the backfield a little bit. Is that kind of the mindset, the motor that you play with?
Oh, for sure. With every play, I just want to get penetration within the backfield. Just any way I can to disrupt the offense.
Jerry, tight end. How important is that role? How much pride do you take in what you bring to the offense?
Yeah, no, I think it's something that I really have worked on since I got here, and just being someone who can be consistently involved, and whether that's blocking or checkdowns or any of that, I just want to be involved.
Yeah, the unglamorous part of a tight end is you're like the sixth offensive lineman.
Exactly.
So I get it. Let me ask you guys this: a lot of newcomers, and Coach alluded to it. There's a certain type of player that you guys are looking for. How excited are you about what you have coming in? You have a lot of new faces. That goes to both of you.
I'm very excited. Like you said, we look for a certain type of players. Every player that we brought in is a hard-nosed, eat-tough player, which means no matter what happens, no matter what adversity comes their way, they're going to get through it, just like the rest of us. So that's how we bonded with them with the time that they've been here. And, yeah, that's what I'm excited for, just to play with them.
Yeah, it's a great group of guys that we brought in, a bunch of guys who want to get here and compete, a lot of guys who are overlooked, just like a lot of us on the team. And we all got that chip on our shoulder that we're just ready to go out there and play ball.
This offense, tight end, what can this offense be with what you have? What do you expect if it's going well?
Yeah, this offense, it's going to be a little different than last year. A lot more explosive. We brought in a bunch of guys, receiver room turned upside down, brought in new tight ends, O-line, quarterbacks, running backs. So it's a whole new offense. So we're getting a little new nuances to it. it's looking to be a really good explosive year on offense.
I see the smile on your face. I'm guessing there's some passes to the tight ends and that explosive too. Then.
Yeah, I don't want to talk too much about what's going on in that offense, but we're cooking it up in there.
Same thing on defense. So what do you have coming in, and what do you like about that group?
What I really like is just the newcomers. So they bring in a great addition to what we already had last year, and then to what we lost. So how we lost Joe Sparacio and Chase Klein last year, we brought in 4 amazing linebackers that this year that bring something different to the table, each person. Then also in the back end, we brought in people from JUCO, transfers that also bring in something different from the table that we had last year. And then D-line, most of the D-line is all the same. We all came from last year. And just the chemistry that we built too. So that's the one thing that we're trying to focus on too, with the new people that's coming in, building more chemistry with them so we can just be a defense that we're all one, right? So that's what I'm looking forward to.
You guys both seem really excited, and I would imagine that's because you think you got something special. Tell me kind of the confidence level or how excited are you about what is going on this year?
I'm excited because every year you always get new people and you always get excited the same way. And the thing that's different this year is, like I said before, the chemistry. And we realize how much a part that plays in being successful as a team. So me, the people in defense, offensive players, that's one thing that we stress, chemistry. And that was different from any year that I've ever been here or any year that he has ever been here. So the chemistry is just the best part about it. That's what I say.
Jerry?
Yeah, I think the big part with the excitement around this year's team is just like all these new transfers, new guys. We're all underlooked. I mean, that's Eastern Michigan football. That's how it's always been. And we just got that. We just want to go out there and prove everybody wrong.
So Justin Jefferson, Jerry Getzinger, appreciate it very much, guys. Best of luck to Eastern Michigan this year. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
We're going to step aside, take a quick timeout. We will have more, a special edition of Sports for CLE from MAC Football Media Days. Stay with us. Special edition of Sports for CLE continues from Mid-American Conference Football Media Days down at the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. We're pleased to be joined by Joe Moorhead, head football coach of the University of Akron Zips. Coach, when you look at this year, third year at Akron, as you look back to when you took over and where you're at now as you get ready for the third season, have you seen the type of building that you would like?
I think yes and no. Essentially, we took over a program that was completely non-competitive, won 3 total games in 3 years, and we've managed to win 4 and 2, and I've had 10 games decided by a touchdown or less, 5 of those by a field goal or less, and 4 of those in overtime. So we've gone from being non-competitive to being competitive and had a chance to win a bunch of games. But there's only a certain amount of time that you could talk about being close and moral victories, and we need to turn some of those close losses into wins.
So when you look at starters returning, 8 on defense, 5 on offense, rather than focus on that, when you look at this year's defense, what are some of the things that should be strengths that you like that you have?
Yeah, I'm very excited about our defense. In year one, we probably played a little bit better on offense than we did on defense, but we made a huge stride from the year before we arrived. But Coach Tibesar and his staff and our defensive guys have really did a nice job last year, improving in every major statistical category. Still have a bunch of things we need to work on, but return a bunch of very good players, a lot of production. I think we've got good chemistry. Guys play with a lot of passion, so I'm excited to see our guys take the next step forward.
Flip side of the ball. What do you, when you look at the offense, what do you see? What do you like? What do you want to see even kind of run forward, if you will?
Yeah, I mean, we were better in year one than we were in year two. We need to be able to control the line of scrimmage. We've been last in the league in rushing 2 years in a row and given up the most sacks. We've been able to throw the ball, but without the ability to win the line of scrimmage, you're going to have a tough time. So the biggest area of improvement will be for us to fix the offensive line. I think we've got quality depth across the board at all of our skill positions, but we got to work on that offensive line.
And I know camp hasn't started. Who are some of the guys that you think could, take a step forward and really help out?
Offensively, we got a great quarterback competition going on with Ben Finley and Taj Bullock. Alex Adams is a first team all-league guy who was hurt for a majority of last season. So we're hoping to see him return to form. And then really across the board, we lost a lot of production. We have a lot of question marks, but great competition. Defensive side of the ball, we returned 8 and a ton of production, a ton of leadership. And, I think the guys that we brought here today, Brian McCoy and Bennett Adler, are representative of what we want our players to be in the program, and, a bunch of other, really good guys across the board.
So defense should be a strength is what, and I'm guessing if you figure the offensive line out, you think things could really start rolling. Is that accurate?
I do.
Fair?
I mean, with the transient nature of this college football, it's tough to say. 35 new players this year, 35 last year. So it's not about just the talent, but how do they kind of assimilate to the culture? What's the chemistry? So I think the pieces are in place, but it's not like the old days where you brought in a freshman and you developed them for 2, 3, 4 years, and so you're kind of, it's like an Etch-a-Sketch. You draw the picture, you shake it, and then you got to draw a whole new one. So one, I think the guys that have been here for 2 years, going into their third year, really understand what's necessary from a preparation effort and execution standpoint for us to win games. It's about taking these new guys and kind of getting them to get caught up to speed pretty quickly.
So non-conference, there's Ohio State, Rutgers, South Carolina. Does that help you? I mean, does it help you figure out what you need to improve on, or is that? I mean, that's a pretty brutal way to start.
That's one way of putting it. We tried to schedule the Chiefs, but they said they were busy, so unfortunately we weren't able to get them on the schedule. But I mean, it is what it is. So. Maybe whoever's voted in on December, maybe we can address that inflation so we don't have to play as many money games. But I mean, it is what it is. So we're going to control what we can control, and that's how we prepare and how hard we play, and just go up there and compete our butts off.
Having said that has to. You look at that, and you're going to be ready for MAC play by the time you get to it.
Yes, I think there's a good and a bad. That obviously you're forged in fire, and you're playing one of the prohibitive favorites for a national championship, and a SEC team that won 5 games, and a Big Ten team that beat Miami in the bowl game. So, yes, you're going to play great competition, but at the same time, there's that juxtaposition of going through those games, gaining the experience, doing your best to win them, and then trying to stay healthy. So, I think it's a healthy balance of making sure that you're doing your best to compete, but also coming out healthy for the portion of the schedule. I don't want to say that matters the most, but one where they hand out a ring and a trophy, which is the conference games.
Absolutely. Coaches get a sense of what a team is like, and I know you haven't hit fall camp yet, but what do you sense this team, personality of this team is?
I'd say a healthy balance of optimism and anger, in the sense that, if we took the past 2 years and every game was a 35-point blowout, and we really don't have a chance. So I think there's a sense that we've been really, really close and need to figure a way to turn the corner, and also a little bit of, if I'd have practiced a little bit harder, if we'd have called a little bit better plays, if we'd have been able to do something in the fourth quarter, that instead of 2-2 wins, we can be sitting anywhere from 4-6. So I think the kids, excuse my language, are pissed that we haven't been able to close these games out, but at the same time optimistic that if a couple things, I don't want to say you make your own breaks, but we can certainly find a way to close some of these games out.
Joe Moorhead, head coach of the
Awesome.
Akron. Appreciate
Always
it.
a pleasure. Yes,
Thanks
sir.
very much.
Thank you very much.
We're going to step aside, take a quick time out. Other side of the break, we'll hear from a couple of the Akron Zips players. It's a special edition of Sports for CLE. Stay with us. Special edition of Sports for CLE continues. We are joined by a couple of Akron Zips, Brian McCoy, a linebacker for Akron, as well as Bennett Adler, a defensive lineman for the Zips. Guys, appreciate the time. Let's talk a little bit about this defense. 8 defensive guys back, a lot of production. What do you expect this defense to do this year? What kind of defense can this be, Bennett?
You know, we really know how to. We're old enough to be able to control the game. We have a lot of returners. We got a lot of new guys coming in, and yeah, we really accepted them in, and they've bought into our culture.
Same question for you, Brian.
So yeah, with the returning guys that we have, they understand what it takes, and that's great when you have that. You got guys who understand what it takes to win. And now with the new guys coming in, we really just inflicted that on them and really just thrown all of that in them, gave them no time to, adjust. And the funny thing is, guys, they've accepted that challenge and they've taken it head on, which is really what's made us an even better defense than we were last year.
So Coach said, the guys are kind of resolved and a little, he said pissed off, just about not being able to finish and being so close. How is that motivating? What does that do to you guys? We'll start with you, Brian.
Yeah, it's very motivating. It's so motivating that you take it into every day. You take it into every rep. You take it to every meal, you take it to every recovery, and you take it to the practice. And most importantly, it's going to pay off in the game, and that's just what it takes. That's what we learned to know what it takes.
Bennett, same question.
Absolutely. That's really going to be the drive that's going to really force us to chase those W's this season.
You guys have struggled in the one-loss column. I sense that you guys are confident that you can get that turned around a little bit. Is that accurate?
Absolutely. Yeah, we know what we have to do. It's the little things that are going to be the push over the edge this year.
Same question, Brian. You confident that you can push that forward?
Yes, sir. And I feel we're especially confident because we've done it. We've trained it. We've prepared to do it. So it's not just something that's just coming out of the woodworks. This is something that we visualize, we've done every day in practice. So therefore, we can have that opportunity to take it to the game and get that win, like you said.
What's Coach like? It's his 3rd year at Akron. What's it been like playing for Coach Moorhead?
It's been amazing. One thing I really like about Coach Moorhead is he never takes a step off. He never takes the gas off of us. One saying he says, good enough is the enemy of great. Everybody wants to be great. Everybody wants to chase excellence. So nobody just wants to be good enough in this game. You really just want to be the best that you can be. And who would want to play for a coach that pushes you to do that?
Same question.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach is a straight shooter, which is what I love about him. If practice wasn't good enough, he's going to let us know about it, and I really appreciate that. And I think that's going to help us to know what we have to do better.
What do you think the strength of this defense will be? Again, I said you got 8 guys back. What's it going to look like on the field, do you think, too?
It starts stopping the run, but I think our experience on the field is really going to help us. And then that experience turning into leadership for the younger guys. And we're really going to start a generational team here.
Yeah, just the cohesion. We, as a defense, we have a lot of cohesion. We have a lot of communication. Very talkative defense. All we do is talk on the field. Nothing's a secret, And, we bring that into the game, and other teams are going to feel that. They're going to know that we're together. We're one band, we're one sound. 11 is 1 and 1 is 11.
It sounds like you're going to be flying to the football. Is that kind of what you're getting at there?
That's all we do. That's all we do, fly to the ball. 11 to the ball. Yeah, 11 hats every play.
What do you guys want to see from yourselves? What do you want to see from yourselves? What do you want to see from the team?
Just knowledge of the playbook, really. Just looking to help my teammates and my team get some wins.
Same here. I just want to take us to the top. I'm tired of being the down upon guys. I want to be up at the top with everybody else. So, and everybody else on the teams understand that. So that's where we're heading.
Bennett Adler, Brian McCoy, appreciate it, man. Best of luck to the Zips.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. And that will do it for this special edition of Sports for CLE from the Mid-American Conference Media Day here at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I want to thank Jeremy Guy from the Mid-American Conference, as well as everybody here in Canton at the Pro Football Hall of Fame for their help. We will see you again tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Have a great night, everybody. See you tomorrow at 4 on Sports for CLE.